our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Let's bring in the former acting ICE director, Ron Vitello. And Ron, this really is extraordinary information. I mean, you've got on this letter, you've got 2 full pages of offenses that more than 425,000 illegal immigrants who are allowed into this country have committed, highlighted by the fact that there are 13,099 who have criminal convictions for murder, and there are 1,845.
Most of us here today, unless you are indigenous American, come from a family of immigrants. And yet, there's always been resistance by the old immigrants to the new people. There was the Know Nothing Party of the 1850s, the America First Nazi Curious movement in the 1930s, and now we have Donald Trump, who has decided to make fear-mongering about immigration the center of his entire campaign, with fascistic rhetoric like promising the largest mass deportation operation in history and promising it would be a bloody story. And just to remind you, as we talk about this, border crossings are actually down to the lowest levels in 4 years. Violent crimes also way down across the country. And everything you hear on right-wing media to suggest otherwise is a lie. There is no migrant crime wave. Immigrants actually commit fewer crimes than people born in the U.S. They also don't eat pets. But the facts don't matter to Trump. Instead, he just keeps ramping up the rhetoric more and more every day.
These are killers. These are people at the highest level of killing that cut your throat and they won't even think about it the next morning. A lot of gang members, they take their gangs off the street. Like in Caracas, Venezuela, the criminals have all been brought to the United States. She let our American sons and daughters be raped and murdered at the hands of vicious monsters. She let American communities be conquered. They're conquering your communities. We have to get them the hell out of our country because they're ruining the fabric of our country.
At this point, his entire plan is trying to scare people into voting for him.
Now, I just want you to understand, this piece that she is spewing, this misinformation, this crap that's falling out of her face right now, came out after everything that ICE put out yesterday. She says all of this stuff knowing full well that most people have seen the data, the actual data that says she's a lying hack. But they don't care. That's why it is going to be incumbent upon each one of you and me to continue to let every single person know that they are actively trying to destroy America. Because the media, especially MSNBC and CNN, are going to outright lie to people. Tell you the boogeyman is Trump. None of this stuff matters. It's all BS. You're never going to see the truth. They are going to keep their people like mushrooms in the dark and covered in BS. They don't want these people to know. So now she comes out here, completely ignores the report, and says that Trump is the boogeyman once again. Unreal.
Despite 2 of his 3 wives being immigrants. Recent polling has shown a majority of voters say they trust Trump more when it comes to dealing with the border. A man who doesn't know the difference between political asylum and an insane asylum, and whose plans to deport every immigrant, or anyone who just looks like an immigrant, would send...
You notice how they basically conflate this term. And she's done it a couple times in this video. In this 2.5-minute segment, she completely conflates it. She says that Trump, MAGA supporters, you, me, that we hate immigrants. That is what's the problem. You people, me, people I know, that's your problem. You people are bigots, racists, homophobes, xenophobes, all the rest of that phobia. And you hate immigrants. She doesn't once ever make the distinction that the people we have a problem with are illegal newcomers. Have to be careful. Even that is kind of, and I'm going to get into that too. I'm sick of having to couch my words to say things that are normal terms. The left not only has gone after everything we hold dear, they've taken our language and tipped it upside down for their pure pleasure of trying to come after us. We have heard over and over and over and over about misinformation and disinformation, yet you turn your TV on at 7 o'clock on any weekday, never mind 7 o'clock, just about any time of the day, and all these people on the left wing, all they do is spout misinformation or complete disinformation. Again, she heard and understood everything the border chief and ICE said earlier in the day. ICE came out with a report, not Trump. Trump didn't come out with a report. Fox didn't come out with a report. Tucker Carlson didn't come out with a report. ICE came out with a report. ICE issued a report saying that there were 13,000 murderers sent on the loose. But she doesn't want her clientele and audience to see that, because we're, 40 days from an election. And at this point, we have to, I'm talking about her, we have to lie. We can't have normies understanding there's a threat here. So I have to conflate immigration as though it's a bad thing. Earlier, as she was talking, she goes, all of us, except if we're Native Americans, all of us are immigrants. Melania is an immigrant. No, sorry, Joy. You must have a very stupid audience. We are all legally here. See the difference? See, huge difference there. We have a right. We were born here. I'm not an immigrant. Many of you aren't immigrants. We were born here. We have a birthright. We are legal. They don't want that to be the case. They want everybody to be able to waltz around in America, even 13,000 murderers.
Our economy into a free fall. Because fear, whether real or irrational, can be an effective political tactic.
Whoa. What do you mean, real or imagined? It's real. You just can't gloss over that, or as they used to say on the Seinfeld show, yada, yada, yada. That is real. It is real. ICE gave us the stats. We all knew what was happening. Trump's been telling you for years. But now, hey, listen, they don't understand. None of us belong here.
The question now for America is, have we gotten to the point where we would destroy our own economy and walk willingly into a Hitlerian dictatorship because of the fear?
Stop. This man just got shot at on July 13th. There's been numerous attempts on his life. There are assassination teams out there, and you just called him a Hitlerian dictator. This woman is evil scum. She is evil personified. If you pulled up her shirt or something, she's probably got the mark of the beast on her. How low can you possibly be? And then you're trying to tell us that our economy is going to suffer. You mean more than spending billions of dollars on newcomers who aren't supposed to be here? I'm pretty sure the economy would be doing quite well if we weren't spending billions on foreign wars and billions on newcomers. But her audience, no, they don't know that.
Donald Trump and his MAGA cronies are perpetuating solely for their own political benefit.
See, you guys didn't realize you're only doing this. You only care because it's political benefit. How about you want to destroy America and we won't let you? How about the fact that you're trying to basically encourage as much of this for whatever reason? Maybe she's a commie, Marxist, I don't know. But she obviously has a reason, or she's being paid to continue to advocate for basically the takeover of America. I ain't down with that. Not at all. I'm so sick of it. But it gets worse. So in this piece, I want you to look at, okay, we got Scott Jennings, who's on your right, the white guy. And you got Anderson Cooper, asset, in the middle, and Van Jones, commie, on the left, the black guy. And I want you to, as Scott Jennings is talking, I want you to just look at Van Jones' face as Scott Jennings begins to school him.
For me, are Republicans for Kamala Harris today. In fact, I think the Trump campaign line today ought to be arsonist returns to scene of crime. I mean, look at the last 3.5 years. We've got the border has effectively been open, people flowing across. ICE today released information that there are 13,000 non-citizens convicted of homicide and almost 16,000 non-citizens convicted of some kind of sexual crime who are in the country right now. Only because we're in the shadow of an election is Kamala Harris trying to rush and pay some lip service to this issue as a tactical matter. Anderson, I don't think Harris should be trying to elevate this issue because this is the best ground from which Donald Trump has to fight. So, no, I think the Harris campaign is making a tactical mistake, and I think they have very little to say that the American people are going to buy on this today. Anderson, it's worse than that. It's not that it took them too long. It's
Look at Van Jones. Got nothing to say. What can you possibly say? You've been exposed. We all know what you're up to at this point.
That they actively worked to undo everything Donald Trump had done during his time in office. On the first day, they were...
Look, he's shaking his head. No, I'm sorry, Van. Absolutely, 100%. Dementia Joe completely took away everything that Trump did to secure the border.
Rescinded all of Donald Trump's border executive orders. The floodgates opened. All these people come rushing across. Then
I don't understand how he's shaking his head no. The only thing you could be shaking your head no is, I can't believe we got caught. I can't believe this guy is spewing actual fact. I can't believe he's telling the truth on us.
It becomes a political problem. And now at the end of the election, they want to blame it on Donald Trump. For her entire career, she has wanted a more permissive immigration structure. When she ran for president before, she wanted to decriminalize border crossings. In her heart of hearts, she wants a more liberal, permissive immigration structure. And in his heart of hearts, Donald Trump...
Why are you shaking your head no? It's very simple, Van. If I was sitting on that panel, I would say, Van, you seem to disagree with this. Well, if you think that's not what her game plan was, why didn't they go shut it? Don't tell me about this bull-ass bipartisan border plan, which was filled with pork and other kind of crap. Why couldn't they just go down to the border and say, you know what? No more. We're done. Shut it. Close the door. Why? And just answer that question. Don't try to obfuscate or tell me something else. Tell me why the Democrats decided they would not shut the border at any cost.
Trump wants to crack down on the border. That's why when you look at the CNN polling this week, Trump is far more trusted on immigration than Harris. That is not going to change because of this visit today or anything she says today.
I hate to smirk. It's like he knows. They don't care. Him and Anderson Cooper, they're both sitting there like, yes, you have intentionally tried to destroy America. You got found out, and you got found out little over a month from the election, and you don't care.
Is cast on this issue. If I were her, I'd want to bury this issue, not make it more prominent. But hey, if she wants to have border events, I think Republicans will rejoice because it'll increase the prominence of this issue for the last month of the campaign.
We have...
Okay, so you heard pundits now talk. Well, Fox sent Sarah Carter into Arizona to talk to some people who actually live, have jobs, have businesses right by the border. Let's see how they thought of things.
The vice president coming in today. Why do you think she's here?
Because she's the flip-flopper, and she's trying to get some votes at the last minute. Where was she 3.5, 4 years ago?
How do you feel about Vice President Kamala Harris's visit here today?
I'd like to be over in her face.
What would you tell her?
I'd say, it's about time you visited the border. I said, let me show you what it's really like.
It's all publicity. It's kind.
Real people can see right through everything she did yesterday. But they don't have to try too hard, because what I'm going to show you next after these people talk is just how phony it really was.
Kind of like she's here. She doesn't care. She just cares about winning.
Why do you think she's here?
Politics, of course.
So you're not being fooled?
No, absolutely not. I mean, she's had, 3.5, 4 years to...
See, that's her big problem. I don't know how she gets around that. You've had 3.5 years, and you told Lester Holt, well, I've never been to Europe either. That's not the answer you should be giving as a vice president. And then you're not going to believe what you see next. If you've seen it, maybe just play along. But most of you who haven't seen it are not going to believe what you see.
To do something of some consequences and hasn't done anything, and I don't think she's going to do anything but carry on another word salad, I guess.
All right, so I want you to see this. Donald Trump put this up on Truth Social. And I'm going to go full screen, so even if you have a...
So tough. Everybody's wrestling with that right
monitor,
now.
I want you to be
and
able
I think
to see this. So
right...
Let me just go back here. Okay, so we're going to pause this, and we're going to go full screen, and we're going to pause it again. All right. So I want you to see this. On the left is the headline story in the New York Post. The headline story in the New York Post says, and I quote, shocking numbers revealed by ICE. Doesn't say by Donald Trump. Harris visits border she won't close. Both of those are absolutely true. 15,000 killer migrants in the U.S. And one of the ladies that was, done in by one of these newcomers. And Trump posts this: even the lamestream media is now mocking Comrade Kamala Harris for her pathetic attempt yesterday to justify her horrible performance at the border. 14,000 convicted thugs and slimeballs who have committed murder have been allowed to enter our country totally unvetted, unchecked, and roam free to once again to kill again. And they will kill again, over and over, and wreak havoc like never seen before. We don't know anything about them. Kamala is a fool to have let this happen to our beautiful USA. It is totally unjustifiable. There can be nothing worse. She should be impeached for what she has done to our country. Impeached is the least of what should happen to this woman for what she's done. Impeached would be letting her off the hook easy. Impeached would be telling her, you can have a slap on the wrist for what you've done. The people of America who are now in danger specifically for what she and Dementia Joe have done have no recourse. They just have to hope that they're not next. And they don't even want us talking about it. As I've said, there are so many words here that I can't even say. I can't even utter the words. I am so sick and tired of having to couch my vocabulary because, certain powers that be don't even allow you to say them. I hope when Trump gets elected, that's one of the first things he does, is say, if you go ahead and censor people and tell them they can't speak without regard, we're going to fine you. We're going to do something. We need to take, in addition to health, we should take our language back again. Make language great again. Where we don't have to sit there and wonder, oh my gosh, can I say this word? Can I say that word? Who's going to get ticked off? What are they going to say? Funny, you never have any misinformation or disinformation claims against the left. They can call him Hitlerian. They don't care. They have no worry about it. But they want us to worry about what we say. And Elon Musk stands in such a prominent position. One of the things I did, I put up a poll today, and I said, we're going to start things on Monday. And I said, my private membership content will be $5 per month starting Monday. You in? And 37% of people of the 1,400, nearly 1,500 people who replied have said yes. The rest of the people said, basically they don't have the money for it. I understand that. Thankfully, only 6%, a very tiny percent, said it's not worth it, which means those are the trolls and people who hate me anyway. So I don't care about that. I was looking to see who wants to come in and who can't afford to come in so Ashley and I can figure out how we're going to structure this thing. You other 6%, you're not wanted anyway. But in any event, we have to do things and talk to people in certain ways and on certain locations so that they don't come after us, because they're coming. They're absolutely coming. I want you to hear how terrified they are. This is from John Kerry speaking at one of these globalist summits. This is going to put chills up your spine as to what is coming if Donald Trump is not elected.
So tough. Everybody's wrestling with that right now. And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue. It's really hard to govern today. You can't, there's the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact have kind of, been eviscerated to a certain degree.
The referees that you used to have to determine what is a fact and what is not a fact have basically been eviscerated. His words. Who are these referees? Who were the referees that have now been eviscerated because of social media? And now they are lamenting publicly as we have to shut this stuff down. This is too much. And people go and people self-select where they go for their news or for their information. And then you shouldn't be able to do that. We, the government, we're going to anoint people who should be able to disseminate news. You hearing this?
And you just get into a vicious cycle. So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this.
It's very hard to build consensus, meaning we have too many dissenters, too many people who won't listen to what we have to say. So as you see the logo in the top right, he's at the World Economic Forum. He's there with Klaus and all the other people who want to control the world and figure out a way to stop you normal people from being able to converse.
And there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities.
You hearing this? There's a lot of discussion going on right now on how we curb these entities, how we stop Twitter/X, how we stop people from talking.
In order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on facts, et cetera.
They want to guarantee. I love breaking this stuff down because I love the English language. And when people talk, listen. They want to guarantee that what they say is what matters. Not all this other talk. You people having comments and you people going on X and Facebook or wherever on Patreon and talking and having a conversation that we don't know about or we don't control. How dare you? How dare you?
But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick.
I woke up this morning and there are, almost 6,000 people watching this. I'm not sick. What the hell did he mean by that? If you go to a source that's sick, they only want one world government, one world press, one world where you can get the message that they want. This is 1984 personified.
And, has an agenda, and they're putting out disinformation. Our First Amendment stands as a major block to the...
There it is. There it is. You think they want to take the second away? They want to take the first away because the second helps them take away the first. It's a major block. It's an obstacle for what we need to do globally. Letting people talk. We need to cut their veritable tongues out of their mouths and their eyes out of their heads so they can only deal and hear what we have to say.
Ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So
I heard this, and I hope it's putting chills up your spine. We need to hammer it out of existence. I've been on this planet for quite some time, and I've never thought I would hear people advocating for our government to hammer out of existence dissent. The entirety of the Constitution was made for having dissent. You know how they came over here from England? Because they're like, hey man, this is crazy over there. They want to control everything. We need to come to America because we can actually be free. We have First Amendment, Second Amendment. We can, study God. We can have different religions. We can do all that stuff here. Here we are 250 years later, and our government wants to go right back to doing what got people here in the first place.
what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having, winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change.
You just heard it. We need to win enough votes, steal enough votes, so that we can change. What do you want to change? Oh, we want to get rid of this pesky First Amendment. You guys don't need that. What do you mean, First Amendment? That ain't happening. Y'all need to shut up. We need to get enough votes to get Kamala Harris in office so that we can change the Supreme Court, First Amendment, everything having to do with being able to disseminate information. Just came out of his mouth.
Now, obviously, there are some people in our country who are prepared to implement change in other ways. And that's really...
That should terrify you. That right there should tell you everything about this government. Everything. There's nothing more you need to know. They want to destroy you. They want to take you down. And that's it. That's what they're going to do. You need to tell everybody you know, everyone with a functioning frontal lobe, and tell them we cannot let this happen. We cannot be in any position where this woman gets anywhere near the White House because she is going to be controlled and we're going to be screwed. The only thing they can't stop is that, yes, we are armed as a population, but as Joe has said, you guys don't have F-16s. Well, let me just tell you, right now, Trump, they're setting the stage, and I think Trump changed his speech that he had planned today, and I think he's coming out with a blowtorch, because what he's showing on stage right now, let me see if I can show you without the music.
Filter out, there's algorithms that,
Look at that. Oh, they moved from it. He's got, he's going to hit hard on the migrant crime. He's going to go after it. He's going to go after deporting them. He's got mugshots. This is going to be epic, and I think it's going to drive the media bat poop crazy. They're going to lose it. They're going to absolutely lose it. So as soon as he comes on stage, I'm looking at this setup, and it's from left to right all across the stage, nothing but mugshots. So just to give you a little insight, this event was supposed to be a big, giant outdoor rally. Secret Service told them, hey man, we can't protect you. Sorry, you got to move it inside. I know you wanted 30,000 people out here, but you'll be okay with like 4,000 or 5,000. That's it, okay? We'll put a screen outside. So he's got to do another indoor event, and they're probably trying to curtailing his ability to get the word out. But with me and you and everybody else, you have to. I'm probably going to get sick of me talking about it, because for the next 40 days, I am going to post constantly on X, probably 4 or 5 times a day. She's destroying the country. She's destroying the country. I'm probably going to do one of those CNN crawls like they had back during the Jabademic. And during the Jabademic, and they said how many people, met their demise, how many people this, how many people that. I'm going to have something on the right side of the screen, and it's going to say every single video for the next 40 days. X amount of newcomers that have been murderers, and X and Y and Z. I'm going to have it just like a ticker, just like CNN had done the entire time that the Jabademic was in vogue. We need to let everybody know. I am so sick to my stomach over this entirety of this thing here. Let's see what. Let's go through here. The First Amendment. Let me just make sure it's working. Yep, the First Amendment, then your Second Amendment. All your money, then your life. It's serious, people. We are at that juncture on the highway when it is now time to basically look and see what you're going to do. I'm not going to go into all the prepping stuff again, because hopefully you guys are ready, and it's bad. It's really bad, people. It's really, really bad. So I'm going to basically renew the, and I just did, to make sure people could join today. If you haven't signed up to win a hoodie, we gave a bunch of them away. I got a new graphic I can show you real quick here. And here's the new graphic. And let me get that comment so you can see my beautiful wife right there modeling one of the hoodies. Enter to win, go to fanfareshop.org. Fanfareshop.org. Fanfare Shop, all one word. And register to win a free hoodie. We'll give away one again today at the end of this show. If you previously registered, you don't have to register again. Your information's there, and I just click the button. I'll do it live, and everybody will see that you won a hoodie. And we've got so far 5 winners or so, and we've got a few more to give away. And there you go. It's free, completely free to enter. And if you've entered already, you do not have to enter again. Thank you, Robin, for the modeling picture. All right, so many, 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 many people have asked. And at this point, it's time. It's time for the Trump dance. Y'all ready? Here we go. You asked for it, you got it. I did it. I know it was only 7 seconds, and people are like, wait a minute, that was too fast. Show it again. Oh, you want to see it again? Okay, we'll go it again. I got moves. I definitely got moves. The rhythm is in me. Yes, that's for sure. I got it. I got it like that. You should see me on the dance floor. Robin doesn't even want to be near me when I'm on the dance floor, because I embarrass her, because I got the moves. Even at my age, even with my bad knees from football, I'm still out there. I can do it. Thanks every single one of you for subscribing. You've made this journey incredible, from the bottom of my heart. And I'm sure Robin, if she's in the chat, will say the same thing. Thank you very, very much. I know you have lots of options, and it's so nice to be able to talk to people. And I'm telling you, if we can lift the censorship stuff, we got a lot more to tell you. A lot more to tell you. So we'll go on. So in that regard, waiting for him to show up. As of yet, he has not taken the stage. Let me just make sure I have the other monitor open. So I've got my backup. Got my backup of the backup. So we've got two connections in case we get the garbled voice thingy going. We're all set to go. I even got my Dolphin shirt on today, trying to show some love to the Dolphins who are about to get spanked for another loss. In any event, don't thank me. Thank you for being entertaining and enlightening. Thank you very much. When we get together, we're gonna have this soiree down here in Boca. And we're going to have going to talk to the people at the Yard House and see if we can't get in there and have the open bar and the hors d'oeuvres and everything else and just have a nice time. You guys will, if you've never been to Boca and you've never been to Meisner, it's a really neat area. It's just an entire block of just nothing but restaurants and clubs, and there's a green space. As it's getting cooler now, it's nice to sit outside, so if it gets crowded inside the restaurant, you guys can go sit on the green and the gazebos, and it's just really, really nice. So we'll have a bunch of fun. We're going to be planning that as well. Latinos for Trump. Born for TV. Born for TV. I'm keeping an eye on the screen. Nothing has happened. It still says moments away. You used to live here. Swell town. It's funny. A lot of people who used to live here, Boca was such a small, and it was just known for a place where just billionaires lived here, and that's basically on the intercoastal, and some of the houses down there, you're like, are you kidding me? It's just, it was an extension of Palm Beach all through Hillsborough. But when you get out west, you get some normal people, so it has grown and grown and grown, and it's not just that place for for the uber wealthy. Barry, your dance clip should come on every time the loony left get caught in a lie. All right, so I'll put that up every time as well. Yeah. Can't enter for the sweatshirt. It should be open again. Do me a favor. I just went on and updated it. Pretty sure it's available. Let me just check. View the live page, and the live page says. Nope, it's open. It says 8 hours and 20 minutes because I put it for midnight. So yep, it's working. If you just went before, maybe it's not working, but it is working right now. Miami is good, lower crime, but it's too much in 2024 population, 10 million. Miami's big city. It's fun. Yeah, it's a great idea. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. Can't register for a hoodie. I don't know if you're behind, you may be behind or something, but go ahead and check it now. Ashley or Robin, could one of you guys check and see if you can, or Ashley's already entered. Okay, it's still good. I just turned it on. Is only one entry allowed? Yes, only one entry is allowed. So if you've already entered, as I mentioned, it's still there and you can be a winner. So you're good there. Dave Heffin says, my daughter lives in Boca Raton. It's beautiful there. Yes. Very, very, very nice. Pool party. Pool party at Barry's house. Oh my God, no. Murrells Inlet. Oh my goodness, Robin. David Train says Murrells Inlet is with you, Barry. Wow, you from Murrells Inlet? Because the woman sitting out there in the living room was born in. No, she was born elsewhere, but she lived in Murrells Inlet. Grew up there. So please, let me know how long you did you ever give those hoodies away? Yes, we gave away, looks like 5 of them in the last couple days. Let me just tell you who the winners are so far. Faith Taylor, Michael Rappold, Brian Krause, Elizabeth Tyndall, and Belinda Angler so far have won free hoodies. So, yep. It's working now for the sweatshirt, so if you have not as of yet entered, go ahead and enter, and before we leave today, I'll give another one. Somebody else said it's working now, I just entered. Yeah, what happens is I had it set to shut off yesterday at midnight because I wanted to make sure we had enough to keep going. So I did the inventory, well, yeah, we can do another one today, and so I had to turn it back on. And I just turned it on right now, so it's open until midnight. So if you're watching this on replay and you'd like to go ahead and enter to win a hoodie, if you're watching it before midnight on September 28th, you should be able to enter. Make sure maybe you should do it at 11:55 just in case anything. But 11:55, 11:58 on Saturday, September 28th it's going to cut off. Let's see what else we got here. Pennsylvania for Trump. You know what's funny? Pennsylvania for Trump. I don't know how possibly, with the information that has just come out, how this woman could even be close. The only way she can possibly be close is if people have just ignored everything, don't care, we just hate Trump and that's it. But you don't care about the prisoners and the murderers? Nope, nothing. We don't care. We'll figure it out after we get rid of him. It's the only thing I could think of. Just complete idiots. Complete idiots. Because it's not about Trump. It's about their agenda. Their agenda and what they want to do to America. Oh, man, if they get her in office, I don't know. Maybe we need to look at relocating. You know, if they're going to invite everybody here, maybe we go there. This is getting nuts. I mean, absolutely nuts. I mean, we're going to be fine down here in South Florida for a while because of Ron DeSantis and because of everything we have going on down here. You ain't shipping these people and dumping them off here. And like Texas, you got pew-pews everywhere. So I don't know how they're going to do it. But I'm telling you something else. And I mentioned it last night. This thing is coming in 3 days. And there shows no end in sight. I wonder if Trump will talk about it today. I'm looking at the closest thing here. I'm looking to see anyone talking about the seaport strike. And I find it interesting. Maybe I can pull... Oh, wait a minute. He's coming up. Okay.
I'm so happy with that. They still remember that. But I just want to really, I appreciate it. These are hard-working, beautiful Americans, and it's something special. But outside, we have thousands and thousands of people. Would anybody love to give up their seat? So we were going to have a thing outside someplace in an area where we could have held the people. And I would say, what do you think, 40, 50,000 people at least out there. This one almost all the way to the airport. And looked like when Lindbergh landed in New York.
How's the volume, everybody?
The Broadway, the way they used to do it. And this looked like it. But thousands and thousands of people. And they all could have had a lot of fun. Instead, now they're probably leaving and walking back home because we have a nice little room that probably holds 1,500, 2,000, maybe less. And outside you have 40, 50,000 people because the administration couldn't give us the Secret Service necessary because they're guarding the Iranian president who's looking to kill Trump. Can you believe it? Now, we could add 30,000 for it. I mean, you see it. It's unusual that you see something like that. Yeah, we'll call in the National Guard. That's a very good. He's a smart guy. Stand up. I want to see what that guy. Very smart. It's a very good idea. They could have done that, come to think. But, you know, I think it's a disgrace. I think it's a disgrace. But nonetheless, 38 days from now, we are going to win Wisconsin. We're going to defeat Kamala Harris. And we are going to make America great again. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. That's great. Great job. They're making your jobs much tougher, right? Your jobs, oh, that's nice people looking. Oh, look at the people behind. Are they relatives of yours, Chief? I don't think so. Oh, that's nice. Wonderful. Well, you got a lot of killers in our country. You saw that yesterday. Last night, after 4 straight years of obliterating our border, I watched this show that she put on, 4 years of the most incompetent border anywhere in the world in history. Kamala Harris traveled to the scene. In fact, she stood near where I put up border wall. That was her backdrop. And in one of the most heinous crimes ever committed by any administration in American history, that's what she did by allowing these millions of people, millions and millions of people, to come through our border and make our civilization very unsafe. It's a civilization, very, very unsafe. It's a heritage. Border Czar Harris went to the border to lie in the most shameless and horrible way possible, at the very site where she released so much suffering, misery, and death. There's no greater act of disloyalty than to extinguish the sovereignty of your own nation right through your border. No matter what lies she tells, Kamala Harris can never be forgiven for her erasing our border, and she must never be allowed to become president of the United States. She must never be allowed. And Wisconsin, you can't do it. Can't do it. What she's done is a total disqualifier. What she's done, and so much death has already taken place. And we have some people up here, and a friend of mine in particular, who suffered greatly because of it. And this has already taken place by the hundreds, but it's going to take place by the tens of thousands, according to explosive data that was just released yesterday by ICE. And they've never released this before. They never talk about deaths and how many. They talk about certain things, but they've never released this kind of information. But it was so bad, never done, but under Kamala Harris, more than 13,099 convicted murderers. So these are people that have gone through the system. They're convicted. They're in jails for life. Some are getting the death sentence. But instead of that, they've crossed our border. They've been taken out by their countries and set free into the United States of America. So they're free to kill again. Oh, they'll kill. These are killers. These are killers that, at a level that nobody's ever seen, not even your great law enforcement has ever seen people like this. They got a dose of it, though, recently. They got a dose of it. Their jobs have become a lot tougher. And you remember when they say, no, these are migrants, and these migrants, they don't commit crimes like us. No, they make our criminals look like babies. These are stone-cold killers. They'll walk into your kitchen, they'll cut your throat. Kamala also let in 25,272 illegals convicted for rape, sex offenses, or sexual assault. 62,231 criminal aliens convicted of violent assault. Everything but death happened to the people they assaulted. In total, she let in 425,431 people convicted of, and these are convicted of the worst crimes. They're criminal aliens, along with an additional 222,000 illegals with pending criminal charges. Many of those charges also are murder, which will add on to your 13,000 murderers that were let into the country. That's over 647,572 migrant criminals who Kamala set loose to rape, pillage, thieve, plunder, and kill the people of the United States of America. And they're not going to change. They're only going to get worse. They're only going to get worse. And our law enforcement system, we have the greatest in the world, but our people are told not to do their jobs. You know, we don't want you to do anything. And they come from tough systems. They're going to love our system. Kamala is mentally impaired. If a Republican did what she did, if a Republican did what she did, that Republican would be impeached and removed from office, and rightfully so, for high crimes and misdemeanors. That would be high crimes and misdemeanors. Think of it. 13,099 murderers, convicted of murder, not like convicted of murder. Some of the worst murders you've ever seen. They're all in our country now, every one of them. And I've been saying this for 3 years, and the fake news has been saying, well, you don't know that. Well, now we know it. They've never released a list like this. Not just on this, they've never done it. Over the years, they've never done it. She let in, and that's not even mentioning the rapists, the gang members, the drug dealers, the child predators, and the traffickers in women, mostly women. Joe Biden became mentally impaired. Kamala was born that way. Okay. She was born that way. And if you think about it, only a mentally disabled person could have allowed this to happen to our country. Anybody would know this. And before I knew the numbers, I was saying it for a long time, they're coming in, they're murderers. I said it so much. They're from jails. I say jails and prisons, there's a difference. One's a little stronger than the other, as you understand. They come from mental institutions and insane asylums. How many times have you heard? There's also a difference there. One's a little bit stronger than the others. And they're terrorists. They're terrorists. They're terrorists at the highest level. We have some of the greatest terrorists in the world in our country right now. We have no idea where they are. We have no idea anything about them. They could be in Iowa. They could be in Idaho. They could be here. Because every border is right now running around every state. Every state is a border town. Every state is a border state. They're flying them in by the hundreds of thousands. Can you believe it? Even yesterday when she was talking about how she's going to start getting very tough. Why didn't she do this 4 years ago? And she lies so much. She lies so much. How about she lies? She said Donald Trump ripped the babies out of the crib. I ripped the babies out of a crib. No. And it was actually President Obama that built the cages. Remember when they were saying Donald Trump, and they show a picture of cages, and then I was lucky enough, somebody from Border Patrol said, no, that was in 2014. That was Obama. And then that story went away very rapidly, remember? All of a sudden, the cage story went away when it wasn't me. Now she lies. Well, look, I mean, the simplest lie is that she worked at McDonald's, and she never worked at McDonald's. She worked at McDonald's, and I didn't work there. She didn't work there. But I'm going to go to a McDonald's, I think, over the next 2 weeks. And I'm going to stand over the French fries. She said, I stood over those French fries. She never did. It turned out to be a lie. And when I mention that, they go, oh, he's fallen into a trap. Because but you ever see that? Whenever I criticize, they say, all the stupid people, the anchors back there. No, they say, he fell into a trap, her trap. She can't set a mental trap. There is no. But if she says something wrong, like in the debate, she said something wrong, I question it. She said another thing wrong, I made her look bad. She said another thing. They don't want me to ever question. They said, oh, he fell into a trap. He questioned the fact on Charlottesville, which was totally debunked. On all of these stories that were totally debunked, fake stories, she mentions them. But yesterday, this is one I never heard, that I ripped the baby out of the cribs. No, that might have been Obama and other people, but it wasn't us. We had the safest border in the history of our country, and even a sign that I put down, fortunately. I put that sign down, and I love that sign. I love the graph. You know the graph? The beautiful blue, gold, and red graph. It's my favorite piece of paper, perhaps anywhere in the world. But she's so radical, she even wants to legalize fentanyl right away. Fentanyl will kill you just a little tiny, on the top of a pin, and you're dead. I have so many friends that have lost their children to fentanyl. No, we're going to do something else. We're going to get China that if they send us any fentanyl, I had this deal done with him, but Biden never got it finished. Do you think he lies awake at night thinking about fentanyl and death? No, I had the deal done, and then we had a bad election. We got more votes than anybody that ever ran for office. Think of it, more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country. We lost by just a little bit. Just a little bit. I was told if I got 63 million votes, which is what we got in 2016, we got millions, millions, and millions more votes, more than anybody's ever gotten, more votes than any sitting president has ever gotten, and just by a little bit. No, we got to make sure there's no cheating, and we're working hard on that. We got more lawyers, we got more people watching, and I told them, if we win and when we win, we're going to prosecute people that cheat on this election. And if we can, we'll go back to the last one, too, if we're allowed. But we're going to prosecute people, so at least they know that's going to happen. And I said that because we have to have strong borders. You need two things, strong borders and fair elections. And we have neither, but we're going to do numbers too big to rig, right? Too big to rig. And, there comes a point when they can't cheat. And when you see the lines going back, like even today, lines going back for miles to get in. And this, a lovely building, I don't want to insult anybody, it's a lovely building. But if this building were 20 times larger, it wouldn't be big enough. And why should they do that to all the people that journeyed from all over your great state? When I saw these migrant crime numbers yesterday, first time they'd ever been released. They don't release numbers on murders, but they did. Somebody probably liked me. They said, boy, this is unfair. But they released them. I said, this is the real deal. This is something that's very special. There's nothing as serious as this. Nothing can be as serious as this. Because this gets down to the very fabric of our society, your way of life. I mean, you're going to be looking around over your shoulder all the time. Communities that were safe. This is more important in a way than inflation, which is a disaster in this country. She's destroyed our middle class, our senior citizens. This is more important than anything having to do with the economy. We'll make it better. We'll make the economy. This is something bigger in a sense, because this is the fabric of our country. She's letting in people who are going to walk into your house, break into your door, and they'll do anything they want. They'll do anything they want. These people are animals. She's released people. These people are animals. Now they'll say, oh, that's a terrible thing for him to say. No. These people are animals. These are stone-cold killers. They're heartless, and they wake up the next morning and they don't even think about what they did the day before. These are real killers. These are real killers. These are the worst. These are people that have been in jail for many years. These are people that killed many people. They took them out of their jails. In Venezuela, their jails are almost empty. All over the world. This isn't just South America. The Congo, their jails are almost empty. The Congo in Africa, they took them out. They bring them into our country. Many, many countries, their jails are almost empty. Some are empty. Some are much less than that. I would do it the same thing. I would have been better than any of them. I would have had everybody out of there. Some of them still have people. They probably couldn't get buses to get them in, right? You need a lot of buses, but they're bringing them into our country at levels never seen before. And your law enforcement over here had, you just had a problem here in this beautiful place we'll talk about. But what they're doing to us, and I saw that. It's also the fact that they're taking all of our black population's jobs and our Hispanic population's jobs. You haven't seen the real job numbers yet. And I said this also 2 years ago. I said, these people that are coming across the border illegally by the millions are taking the jobs of the black population of America and the Hispanic population of America. Have you seen their job numbers recently? They won't release them, I guarantee, until after the election. But you take a look at the black population job numbers, you take a look at the Hispanic population job numbers, and the unions are going to be next. The unions are going to get hit hard by this. They come in illegally, they take everybody's jobs, and you don't know who you're hiring. Our country is being destroyed. This is the worst president and the worst vice president in history. And you got to get out and vote. Isn't this a wonderful and inspiring speech? I got people sitting in the front row, they're going, oh my God. They thought they'd be out there jumping up and down, make America great again. We're going to do that, don't worry. We haven't gotten to that part yet. Now, I'm just saying, this is a dark speech, but we only heard the numbers yesterday for the first time. You know, I took a lot of abuse because they're saying, what does he mean? How dare he say that? Everyone thinks, oh, it's such beautiful people. Everyone's so wonderful coming in. No. Stone cold killers, drug dealers, gang members. Every country in the world is taking their worst people, their criminals that are outside of jail, the gangs that hurt people, the drug dealers, which are causing such problems, that get death penalties in a lot of countries, and they don't have the problem with drugs. But they're taking their worst people, they're bringing them into our country by the tens of thousands. And yesterday, for the first time, I saw the numbers. It was reconfirmed. Some of the honest fake news, look at all the fake news back there. But, some of them turn the cameras off when I'm talking about this. No, they turn the cameras. For whatever reason, they don't want people to hear this, you know. Now, we're gonna make them honest. If we don't have an honest press, that's your third leg, by the way. You need an honest press, and we have a very dishonest press. Mostly, I mean, I know some, you know, there's a little sliver that's good. But it's, you're right, right side's good. He said right side. It's true, right side. Now you have some good people back there. But it's true. You have some very good people, but you have mostly horror shows. But small towns in America are terrified of migrants coming in, and even when they haven't yet arrived, they're terrified. They're terrified. And a lot of these people don't want to talk about it because they think it's so bad for the town, but they're going to have to talk because people are being killed. I spoke to people from Iowa, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. They're beside themselves, and honestly, I tell you, they're not going to take it much longer. And I guess the easiest way and the best way is on November 5th, you got to vote for Trump because we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love that young voice. Stand up, young voice. What a beautiful person you are. Wow. Thank you very much. We love young people. One of those little things, right? They're so great. That's the future. That's who we're really fighting for when you get right down. That's who, right? We're really fighting for that voice right there. We're fighting. Because we want them to grow up in insanity. This is insanity, what's happening in our country. Who would do what they're doing? Who would do this? Who would allow 435,000 criminals, hardened criminals, 13,000, think of it, murderers, people that murdered people viciously. Some people murdered many people, and they're now in our country. They're not going to change. They're going to get worse, actually. So we're here today in Prairie, Chien. Is that a good? Yeah. Good pronunciation. You could have given me a little easier name than that, but I think we got it right.
Got it. Nailed it.
Prairie, Chien. What a beautiful name. And we have to keep it beautiful. And you have great law enforcement here, but they're going through a lot. And we're in Wisconsin, and every person here knows exactly what I'm saying. Just this month, right here in this beautiful town, police arrested an illegal alien member of a savage Venezuelan prison gang known as Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua. These are really bad ones. This vile monster was charged with holding a mother and daughter captive against their will and sexually assaulting them again and again and again. This animal crossed Kamala's wide-open border, along with hundreds of thousands of others that are worse than him, He was arrested and released in the sanctuary city of Minneapolis. And by the way, I'm going to end all sanctuary cities immediately upon taking over. Right? Thank you. All of them are ending. And you know, the people of these states with big sanctuary cities, these people are, they want them out. It's only the politicians that want them. Someday we'll explain why. But he assaulted another woman in the sanctuary jurisdiction of Dane County, and he had outstanding warrants for strangulation, all before coming to this small, beautiful, idyllic Wisconsin town. A few months ago in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. There's a lot of action going on in Wisconsin with these things. You know, usually I have like Clark County. An illegal alien released by Kamala Harris was arrested for tying up and blindfolding a 12-year-old girl in the back of a van and viciously sexually assaulting her. A few weeks ago, yet another illegal alien Kamala let in was charged for sexually assaulting a woman in her home in Wausau, Wisconsin. How do you like that? Wausau. Is that right? Wausau. I like Wausau. No, but think of this. Sexually assaulting, and what he did to her was so horrific that he's now facing up to 100 years in prison. 100 years. These are towns that had these are towns and little beautiful areas of our planet that had no problems. Oh, you're going to have a lot of problems. I don't care how good your law enforcement is, you're going to have a lot of problems. They're all over the place. And I'm telling you what I said before. These towns, these little towns and cities, and by the way, the big cities too. New York, look what's happened in New York. And they went after the mayor of New York because he was saying, we can't do this, we can't do that. They just indicted him for long before he was mayor. But look at what they do. These are vicious monsters in our government that are also stupid people. They're vicious, but they're stupid, which is a very dangerous combination. Today I stand before you to make this promise. I will liberate Wisconsin from this mass migrant invasion of murderers, rapists, hoodlums, drug dealers, thugs, and vicious gang members. We are going to liberate our country. I will liberate our nation. Our nation will be free again if we win this election, and it's going to have to go fast because we're not going to be able to handle it. Our nation will be free again, and it'll be free, and I'm the only one that's going to be able to do it. Nobody else even talks about it. Nobody else even, do you ever notice the way these people, they don't want to talk about it because they think it's bad publicity for their town? It's not. It's bad publicity when people are killed all over the place. They don't want to talk about it. We will not allow these people to invade us, conquer us, and take all of our dignity and pride and everything we have stood for from the very beginning of our lives. You have dignity and pride in this town and this area and this state. And they want to take that dignity and pride. They want to invade. They want to take over your homes. They want to take over your buildings. Look at what they're doing in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. Venezuela gangs are taking over real estate. They're real estate developers like I was, but they do it with a gun. I did it with bank financing. They do it with a gun. They will save your communities, and we will work with your law enforcement. They're going to save your communities. You got the greatest people on earth, and you got to respect them. And when you have good ones, you got to hug them and kiss them and tell them we love you because they're great. They do so. I am endorsed by every law enforcement group, I think, or just about. I better say just about, because they'll find some one little person someplace. I don't really like Trump. Trump lied. No, these are bad people, but virtually everybody. We just had the endorsement of a group of 400,000, the largest law enforcement group, the Fraternal Order. She's got 400,000 people. It was like, they said unanimous. I don't know if it's unanimous, but all the sheriffs all over Florida, all over the country, every sheriff's group, everybody's endorsed us, or if they're not allowed to in some cases, they still state their preference. Border Patrol endorsed me, and Border Patrol is like, it's hard. How do you endorse somebody and you're with this other group, but they can't do it. They're unbelievable patriots. They love the country. They hate to stand there and watch these people pour right by them. They want to do their jobs. They're great people. How on earth did a small town in the Midwest and America come to be so famous as some of these towns? Look at what's happening with some of these towns. They're being talked about all over the world, but in a very horrible way, occupied by members of savage prison gangs from Venezuela. I mean, think of that. How does it? You're talking about areas of the Midwest where they're becoming famous because they're being occupied. And this is hundreds of little cities and little towns. They're petrified. And their law enforcement is petrified. You have a sheriff and a deputy, or you have a small group, and you'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know it very well. I've become an expert on guns quickly. My sons know guns. They couldn't believe what the story they heard, the two stories they heard, actually. But I don't care, because we're doing it for you. We're going to make our I don't care. I just say we've got to do it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that guy right in the front. He looks better than I do, and I think he's probably a little older, right? Look at him. He looks fantastic. 4 years ago, I handed Kamala Harris the most secure border in U.S. history with the lowest illegal immigration on record. In the words of former ICE Director Tom Homan, you know Tom, President Trump was the greatest president in my lifetime by far. This country was never better off than when he was there. He was unprecedented in his success on the border, and it saved so many lives. He got it done. Likewise, the head of the National Border Patrol Council, Art Del Cuello, he's a great, incredible guy. He said of Kamala's visit to the border yesterday, I stood with President Trump when he actually went to the border, to areas that are notorious for drug smuggling and human smuggling and are very dangerous. He stood there. He spoke to the agents for a long period of time. He's been speaking to the boots on the ground for 8 years and a lot. He stood there for over an hour in 110-degree temperatures with heat. It was a hot day, I will say, but the heat was crazy. But with families of victims and illegal aliens, and he spoke to reporters. Vice President Harris went down there. She didn't speak to the agents, and as a former president of the National Border Patrol Council, great guy, Brandon Judge said, President Trump's actions secured the border. Kamala Harris's actions completely opened up the border and made it very unsafe. And I just want you to take a look at this little video. We had a video planned, and we're going to use it even though it was supposed to be for 50,000 people. But maybe they have a little television set outside that they're watching it. But you have to take a look at this, please.
I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
Who really is Kamala Harris? She's been telling us her entire career.
I support our sanctuary law.
The illegal immigrant deported multiple times who stands accused of killing Kate Steinle.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
Everyone also have the courage to reject that term illegal alien.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
You know,
are you aware that there's a
that
perception?
puts ICE in the same category as the KKK? Is that what you're asking me?
Abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Is that a position that you agree with?
And we need to probably think about starting from scratch. We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. I am opposed to any policy that would deny any human being public health, period.
Will you be committing to close immigration detention centers?
Absolutely, on day one.
How come she hasn't applied consequences the last 3.5 years? 10 million illegal encounters, 2 million gotaways, 600% increase in sex trafficking, more terrorists coming across the border, a record number of people off the terrorist watch list, and over 250,000 Americans dead to fentanyl that comes across the border. Consequences, there will be consequences for her failure.
We have a secure border. The border is secure.
Sickening new details about the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The 22-year-old was beaten to death with a mystery object.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't.
Kamala Harris, do you trust her to stop the invasion?
She is a disaster. And she's not going to ever do anything for the border. And she didn't even want to get tough now, except her poll numbers were tanking. And by the way, we're leading in the polls. We're doing great. But you got to get out and vote. You know, this can only happen to me. I had to beat Biden. We were 21 points up after the debate. And then I said, oh, I can't believe it. I think they're going to get him out. And then we had to start all over again with this one. She had a little honeymoon period, but people are now finding out she's not a smart person. And she has no idea what the hell she's doing. And she's going to be dealing with the smartest people. President Xi, how do you think President Xi is looking? He's chopping, he's just grabbing his, oh, he's so happy. He's grabbing his people all over the place and watching the same kind of things you just watched, but even better. And we can't have this. Look, we had 4 years of incompetence. We can't have another 4 years of incompetence because we're not going to have a country anymore. She's incompetent and a bad person, but she's incompetent, grossly incompetent. She's a Marxist. You're right. She's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor. Think of it. Defund the police. She started the movement. This is a woman that we cannot allow to have in this. If she gets in, our country is finished. It's finished. Starting on her first day in office, Kamala Harris terminated every Trump policy I used to deliver the strongest and most secure border in the history of our country. We never had a, Tom Homan said it, the best border. They interview people on the border that live in hell on the border. They say it was never like Trump had it. We had a great thing. And then as soon as she came in, she ended up remain in Mexico. That means you couldn't come into our country. She terminated it. You know what it means. Remain in Mexico. It's what it means. Release and canceled. Little things like the Safe Third Agreement, canceled Title 42, halted the removal of virtually all criminal aliens, ended all of our programs that we instituted to stop child trafficking, which is at an all-time record now. She said last night that I told you, ripped babies out of the crib. I ripped babies out of the crib. She's sick, and she's a liar. And the reason I keep mentioning McDonald's, because it was so basic. She worked at McDonald's, and it was a lie. She's a liar. But Kamala, of all things, the worst thing is this. She lost 325,000 migrant children, and they're either dead, being sold into sex slavery, or just plain missing from their parents. They were stolen. 325,000. What Kamala Harris, can you imagine if that were a Republican? Can you imagine? What Kamala Harris has done to our border is a betrayal of every citizen. It's a betrayal of her oath, and it's a betrayal of the American nation. Not only must she be defeated, but in light of this news, Kamala Harris should immediately resign the vice presidency and go home to California in disgrace. She should resign. Under both border czar Harris and sleepy Joe Biden. Where is he, by the way? What the hell? What the hell happened to him? Midwestern states from Pennsylvania to Wisconsin are being overwhelmed through two programs she created to deluge towns, just like yours. First, she created a program to fly in migrants from Venezuela, Haiti, and Nicaragua, dumping them into cities and towns all throughout America, right? You know that, right? Remember when she was saying, no, we're thinking, they got a little tougher about 3 months ago on the border, a little bit, but they never stopped the flights because they didn't think, but we caught them about 2 months ago, flying in hundreds of thousands of people over the border. They didn't think we'd catch them. Can you believe it? In addition, she's allowing virtually unlimited numbers of migrants to enter and be released at the press of a button through her phone app for illegal immigrants. They have a phone app so that people can come into our country. These are smart immigrants, I guess, because most people don't have any idea what the hell a phone app is. But they do. These are very intelligent immigrants. But you know who they're really meant for? The cartel people. The people that run the cartels. They can use them brilliantly. They're making billions of dollars, among the most successful people in the world. This is why I get shot at so much. I mean, if you think about it. Only a consequential president gets shot at. Okay? Remember that. In less than 4 years, she relocated almost 5% of the entire population of Haiti to the United States. And the rest are coming in rapidly as they can, as fast as they can come out. And 6% of the populations of Honduras and Nicaragua. And remember this, those governments, they send the people that want to send. And those are the people we're getting. These countries are so dangerous that the U.S. State Department has travel advisories warning Americans not to go there. Yet Kamala is resettling all of those people here, anybody that wants to come. So we have travel warnings, don't go here, don't go there, don't go to the various countries, and yet she's taken in the worst of those people, the killers, the jailbirds, all of the worst of the people, she's taken them in. And then I have to sit there and listen to her bullshit last night. And who puts it on? Fox News. And they shouldn't be allowed to put it on. It's all lies. It's all lies. Everything she said is a lie. But it all stops the moment I raise my hand and take the oath of office as your 47th President of the United States. It all stops. Thank you very much. Not far from where we are today, in a small, very beautiful town of 15,000, Whitewater. Do you know Whitewater? Right up the road a little bit. Kamala has flooded the town with an estimated 2,000 migrants from Venezuela and Nicaragua. Very tough ones, some very tough people in that group. I know because I get the info. Housing costs have now soared by 25% because the government's buying houses for them. Diseases are spreading like wildfire, all sorts of disease. The police say they cannot handle the surge in crime. The schools can't teach, and they're taking over the schools. And the town itself has plunged heavily into debt. The town's in big trouble. In Springfield, Ohio, 32,000 migrants from Haiti and other countries descended upon this idyllic town of 50,000 people. How would you like to have 50,000 people and now all of a sudden, a short time later, you have 32,000 more? They don't speak the language. They don't have the culture, whole different culture. Everything's different. But yet 50,000 people with no crime, no problems, only happiness, love. Not anymore. The mayor is a very nice man. I don't know him, but he's a very nice man. And he doesn't want to really talk about it, but he's got to talk about it. He wants to be politically correct, so rather than saying what he should be saying, which is, you're all leaving, you're not coming in, we're not going to take you, we're not going to allow this to happen to our town. Instead of that, he was on television the other day. He said, no, we're trying very hard to get along with everyone. We're looking for interpreters because nobody speaks English. And I believe he actually intends on keeping the people in the town. The town is ruined. It's destroyed. I mean, I am politically correct, but not when it's this important. Your towns, your cities, your country is being destroyed. This is bigger than inflation, which is killing you, all caused by Biden and Harris with their stupid energy policy and all of their spending on the Green New Scam. Billions and trillions on the Green New Scam, on garbage that doesn't do it, that actually brings our country back. They don't think about nuclear missiles from different countries. And by the way, they can't handle them anyway. You'll end up in World War III. But they think about global warming, which is now called climate change, because global warming doesn't work anymore, because it's actually cooling. It worked for a few seasons, but now it's not working. So climate change, a much better term, because that covers everything. Warming, cooling, rain, sun, it covers everything. Trillions and trillions of dollars they waste. You know, they want to go to 93 trillion. That's more money than every country in the planet has, and destroyed. Germany went that way for 1 year, and now they're building coal plants all over the place. You know why? Because they were getting destroyed. That's why Angela Merkel is no longer there. Already everybody is talking about leaving the different towns that we're talking about. The majority of the school cannot speak English. In Ohio, Springfield, they can't speak English. They're taking over the schools. There's nobody that can speak English. And the mayor's looking for interpreters. Isn't that wonderful? How can this happen? How can we allow it to happen? If Kamala is reelected, your town and every town just like it all across Wisconsin and all across our country, the heartland, the coast, it doesn't matter, will be transformed into a third world hellhole. That's what's going to happen, 100%. Remember, there's a hat that's made that sells like crazy. Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. See, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had a fly up here. You're changing rapidly, but we can't take it any longer. We can't take it any longer. It takes centuries to build up the unique character of the United States of America. Centuries and centuries, goes on forever. Good and bad, it all comes out, and we ended up with a great country. But in 3.5 years, they've really destroyed our country. They've really destroyed it. And we can fix it, but you know what? In 4 years, it's going to be too late. Just like we've seen in London and Paris and Minneapolis and Aurora and Colorado and Springfield, Ohio. But I'll not let it happen here in Wisconsin. I'm not going to let it happen. You're not going to let it happen either. And I will not let it happen to Prairie, Chien. Not going to happen. So I just want to say we're pleased to be joined by so many great people, but one of them, as I said before, is Congressman Derek Van Orden, who lives just a short distance away, where a heinous sex assault that I mentioned before took place. It was terrible. And Derek, I want to thank you very much for being here. You're doing a great job. But they had a hell of a time, right?
Yes, sir.
And this was from an illegal that came in through Kamala. And that won't be the last one. It'll only get worse. It's going to get so bad that it won't be sustainable. We have to get these people out. We got to get them out of here, okay? Got to get them out of here fast. Now, the fake news would say, oh, he's such a mean person. I'm not mean. I'm a good person. I want to take care of. We got to take care of people. We've built this over 250 years. We got to take care of our country. Our country is being destroyed by these people. And you don't even know why. Are they stupid? Are they evil? Do they want us to be destroyed? It's so obvious that it can't work. It can't work. I mean, go and take a look at Springfield. Go and take a look. And the governor's a Republican. He's a nice man. I helped him very much. Without me, he wouldn't have been elected. But he's taken an attitude like, oh, isn't it wonderful? Look, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. You're going to have crime, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. Now, I'm speaking from common sense. You see, the Republican Party has really become the party of common sense. We need common sense now. I mean, we're not going to have men playing in women's sports. We want to have a border. We want to have a border. We want to have good education. We want to have low taxes. We want to have a strong military. I rebuilt our military. Then they give away a big chunk of it to Afghanistan. In the single most embarrassing day in the history of our country, the same idiots are dealing with us now on nuclear weapons in Russia and the problems in the Middle East. This whole world is exploding. And you know, one of the toughest, smartest people said very nicely, Viktor Orban, he's the head of a place called Hungary. He said, if you bring Trump back, everything's going to be good. Otherwise, this whole world is going to end up in a big, fat world war. You're going to end up having, okay? Also with us, Crawford County Sheriff Dale McCulloch. Dale, thank you, wherever Dale is. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, good job. Prairie du Chien Police Chief Kyle Teener. Kyle, thank you very much. Thank you, Kyle. Good job. And Wisconsin GOP Chair Brian Chimming. Thank you very much. Where's Brian? Oh, Brian, stand up, Brian. Are we going to win, Brian? Okay, good. Brian's doing a great job. Doing a great job. Thanks, Brian. Good job. What Kamala did not talk about in her lies last night, just lied. Everything was a lie. And I always say, why didn't she do it? You know, she's been here almost 4 years. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Reading off a teleprompter. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? But I keep asking, I said it in the debate, I said, so why don't you do it? Why don't you just do it? We're going to do this, She's been there for almost 4 years. They didn't do anything except destroy our country. So why don't you do it? Then she says about a bill. It was such a bad bill. This bill that she talks about. You know, it's a fake bill. It was put in by the Democrats with a couple of Republicans that got duped and put before, nobody wanted to vote. She said, I'm the one that talked them out. I wish I had that ability, that I was the one that said, don't vote for it. But I do have a certain say, but I would have never voted for that bill. It was so bad. It would have allowed everybody to become a citizen. It would have allowed at least 2 million people to come into our country, and very rough ones. It was a terrible bill, but they use that as an excuse. The fact is, all she has to do is go back to the White House wake up Sleepy Joe, it'll be 4 o'clock, so he's gone to bed, and say, Joe, get your ass down here. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor because I'm losing in the election. Sign this piece of paper. What is the piece of paper? It says to the Border Patrol, close the border. 3 words. Like I did. And we want people to come in, but we want them to come in legally. Close the border. Joe, please sign it. Please sign it, Joe. I need help, Joe. I need help. They're killing me on the border. I'm losing on the border. You know, I won in 2016 on the border. It was one of the big things. I mean, I won on a lot of reasons, but I won on the border. I won because I stopped people from coming on and killing our country with trade, or the various countries, mostly known as our friends. Our friends can be the worst on trade, okay? They kill us more than our enemies, frankly. They sort of come underneath, and all of a sudden you realize, gee, we got taken over. But I did great on that. But I probably won on the border, and I fixed the border. And then in 2020, I couldn't even talk about it. And yet I got millions of more votes in 2020, but I still couldn't talk about it. And my people were saying to me, sir, they don't want to hear about the border because you fixed it. I said, well, I want to talk about it. They don't want to hear it. It's true. Nobody wanted to hear it. Today's border is 20 times worse than it was in 2016. 2016 was like a great day for this border. 2016, I fixed it. I built hundreds of miles of wall. I had another 200 miles, and that's much more than I promised to do, 200 miles ready to go. And when they took over, because of a rigged election, when they took over, they didn't want anything to do with putting those panels up. You couldn't put them up. They were laying right there, right next to it. I don't know if you heard this story. So, you know, they had sections where they even said we have to build a wall. And the panels that we put up were exactly what Border Patrol and ICE wanted. Everything. They even have the anti-climb panel on top, which I hated to look at. But it made it much harder to climb. So I said, well, do I give up the look for the climb? It's called an anti-climb panel, and it's right. It's very hard to get over the top. These guys can do anything. And what happened is they didn't want to put up those. So they went out and bought a totally different panel instead of just putting up, which is nothing by comparison, not nearly as good, not as good in any way. Rather than using the panel that was sitting 10 feet away, they put different panels up. Looks like hell, too. Now you have a wall that doesn't, you know, they say, where the hell did that come from? But they admit, you know, I always said for years, I said, everything gets obsolete fast. Like you have a computer and you think it's great, and then 2 weeks later it's obsolete. You have a new cell phone. I love it. I love it. A week and a half later, they come out with a better one. The only things that don't get obsolete are the wheel and the wall. A wall is never obsolete. But what Kamala did not talk about in her remarks last night were the countless Americans who've been brutally assaulted and killed by illegal aliens, and she let them in. Killed, many, many killed. Just so many people. Already. You know, we think this is the beginning. It's not. This has been going on ever since they took over. Because from the day they took over, they said, we want an open border. And nobody believed them. It wasn't believable. And here today is Patty Morin, whose heartbreaking story is a tragic warning of what will come to every city in America with 4 more years of Kamala Harris. I can't even believe she's being considered. Look, she was considered 8 weeks ago the worst vice president in history, a very dumb person. The fake news was calling her dumb, stupid, didn't have a chance. She was at the bottom of a list of 12 candidates. They voted. She came in last. She fought Joe Biden, Crooked Joe. I call him 2 names. I call him Crooked Joe, Sleepy Joe. I'm not sure. I've never figured out which is better. He said they're both good. I agree. I actually tried them together, but it doesn't work together. You know? I sort of interchange. But think of it. This person, what they've done to our country and what's done to Patty, she lost the most beautiful person, her daughter, you've ever seen. And I've gotten to know her, and none of this would have happened. Just like the war with Ukraine and Russia would have never happened if I was president. No chance, zero chance. Putin would have never done it. Just like the attack on Israel would have never happened on October 7th. Just like that horror show, and if you look at Afghanistan, would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened. We would right now be energy dominant instead of looking for energy. You know that our reserves, we have a reserve, and it's really meant for war. It's meant for very important things, strategic reserves, right? Just reported today they're at the lowest point they've been, maybe ever, but they know in 40 years, because Biden used that to suppress the numbers, because without that, the oil prices for your car, it wasn't supposed to be for your gasoline, in all due respect, and it's peanuts compared to the amount we're talking about. But now we have the lowest strategic oil reserves in the history of our country, we think, or many, many decades. And it's a shame, but Patty's precious daughter, Rachel, was a 37-year-old mom of 5 precious children, a beautiful woman, who lived in Maryland, 1,500 miles from the border. That's a long way from the border. Earlier this year, while Rachel was out on a run, she was brutally raped and murdered by this disgusting illegal alien who was led into the United States by Kamala and her lax law. Every one of my killer, we had the great, he would have never been able to get in. She stopped every single one of them. She was the border czar. Now she doesn't admit that. Whether you call her a czar or not, she was no czar, because she really wasn't a czar. She didn't give a damn about the border. She never spoke to Border Patrol. You ever see the agents, all the top people? They never spoke to Biden or her. And yet it's like the most important thing. But Patty has suffered greatly. I've gotten to know Patty. She's a great woman. And she lost an amazing person in her family. Her family is suffering tremendously. But I'd like to ask Patty to come up and just say a few words about Rachel. Please, Patty. Thank you very much. Thank you, Patty. Let me take care of this.
Thank you. I'm not a politician, so I'm not here to give you a spiel. I do want to say vote for Trump, though, because I really believe that he's going to close our borders. Rachel was a very fun-loving, down-to-earth, compassionate woman. She worked really hard. She took good care of herself, good care of her children, and she loved people. She had a stuttering problem, so she was bullied when she was a child. So she really has compassion for other people. She was like the American mom. She took care of her kids. She worked hard. And because of this open border, her life was taken away and her children have been robbed of their mother. And it's just, we can't have it. Another 4 years of Kamala Harris, this story is going to be multiplied by the thousands.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just take care of yourself, okay? I'll see you later. So unnecessary. And Patty, we're so sorry for the terrible suffering that you've had to endure. I've had lunch with Patty. We've spoken to the whole family, and I've spoken to many other families, same thing, and it's incredible. It's just incredible that a thing like that could happen. No reason for. Who has an open border where people they don't have the names of anybody? You know, those 13,000 murderers that they don't have any idea where they are, who they are. They don't have the names. We just know they're all out of jails, all convicted of really bad murders. And now they're in our country. And that's a lot of people. In honor of Rachel's life and every other victim of migrant crime, we will win this election. We will secure our border. We will secure that border on day one. I always say, you know, they say, what are the first things you're going to do, or the first 2 things? I always say, number 1, we're closing our border, and number 2, we drill, baby, drill. But I put drilling behind the border. A reporter asked me that question last night. A What's the first thing? But I mean the first thing. I said, well, there's a couple of things. I said, I want to hear the first thing. I said, you know the first thing? Close the border. The second thing is drill, baby, drill, but I'll do them at the same time. We're going to bring down your cost at a level that you wouldn't believe, because that's what you have to do. We will give you, your electric costs here are the highest in the nation. I think you probably know that. We will bring down your energy costs within the first 12 months of my administration by 50%, and it'll be easy. We have more liquid gold under our feet. We're going to bring down your electric and your air conditioning and your gasoline. We're going to bring down your energy costs by 50% within 12 months of January 20th. So hold me to it. I hope I make it. All right, I hope I make it. You can hold me to it. And that, in turn, is going to bring down everything else. You're going to bring down the cost of food. You're going to bring, because your food costs have gone. The biggest complaint I actually get is groceries. When you talk to the people, they say, I say, what's the biggest problem? Groceries. And it's true. You look at the cost of bacon, the cost of cereal, these things went up at numbers that nobody's ever seen before, because we have an incompetent administration. And I believe she's more incompetent than Joe. I really do. I believe that she's more incompetent than Joe. A president's first duty and sole allegiance is to his own citizens, the citizens of his country, and Kamala's allegiance is to illegal aliens and foreign migrants. That's what it is, and maybe that's a Marxist thing. I don't know. And where is her father? I'd love to speak to him. Because nobody's heard from him, but I would like to speak to him. My heart is loyal only to the American people. I just feel for the American people. And unless I'm elected, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Hey, look, you have two people. So you had, let's say, 350 million people. You have no idea how many people you have in this country. Normally you say we have no idea how many people. They've lost control. But let's say you have 350 million people. Then you had some people running as Republicans, and a lot of people running as Democrats. She was the first one out. By the way, I think you had 22 people running as Democrat when they started. And is that the right number, right? 22 people. And she was the first one to quit. She quit the first. She never got to Iowa. And then you had them fade, and you end up with Crooked Joe. And that's okay. I said, this is crazy. He's the one that got the nomination. He got 14 million votes. You know how many she got? Nothing. And everyone said she'll never get the nomination. But they were afraid because they wanted to be politically correct, so they gave it to her. But she was the weakest person on the whole list. But she's got the fake news. They're all fake, and they're behind her. Nobody knows why. I'm sure they don't know why. They do it out of habit. They do it because there's no reason why anybody would be behind her. She's not qualified. She'll do a horrible job. She'll be the worst president. She'll be worse than Joe, which is hard to believe. The happiest president right now is Jimmy Carter, because his administration was brilliant compared to the one we have right now. And it's a very nice thing. He's an old guy, but he's the happiest guy in the world because he was brilliant by comparison to these people. They are the worst ever. On day one of my new administration, I'll stop all of the migrant flights into our country. Those planes are flying over right now, and they don't count them in the numbers. I don't know if you know. They and the phone app, which are thousands and thousands they're not counted in the numbers. That's why they do it, because they don't want to count it. I will end catch and release. I will restore remain in Mexico. I will bring back Title 42, that's the medical. I will send in federal law enforcement to rescue every town that has been taken over by migrant gangs and criminal alien thugs. And by that time, many of your towns in this great state will be in that position. It's happening fast. It's happening fast. And again, the politicians don't like talking because they think it's bad publicity. Worse publicity is to let it happen. The governor of Colorado, he's a Democrat, liberal guy. He doesn't know what to do. These Venezuelans have come in, they're taking over big parts of his towns. And he doesn't, and they're armed with weapons that the military doesn't even have. We will seal the border. We will stop the invasion immediately. We will begin the largest deportation operation in the history of our country because we have no choice. No matter what obstacles and dangers are thrown in our path, I will keep on fighting for you and for this country that we all love. That's why I'm doing this. I tell you what, I had a good life before I did this. Nobody was shooting at me. I had a hell of a life. Oh, those locations, those beautiful. I could have been sunbathing on the beach. You have never seen a body so beautiful. Much better than Sleepy Joe. No, but think of it. Here's a guy, he's president. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he goes to the beach. And then he's got a lot of cameras, you know. And somebody told him he looks good in a bathing suit. And he doesn't know, you know, what's he, 82? It's hard, generally speaking, to look great. But the mind can be good. You know, I know so many people in their 90s that are sharp. He's not one of them. But think, any guy that can lie down and in front of cameras fall asleep, stone cold out, and he's the president of the United States, and it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he's laying on the beach and he's sleeping. I say, how the hell do you fall asleep in front of the fake news media? But see, he can do it. If I did that, I would be. But because they protect him, he can do it. But he's out cold. And in certain ways, I respect it. I wish I had that ability to fall asleep like that. I would love that ability. I'd get a lot more sleep. That would be a good thing. But he goes to sleep, stone cold in front of the media. I never saw anything like it. He's sleeping. I say, what the hell? How do you do that? And you know, honestly, our people don't want to see him at the beach on a Tuesday sleeping. We really don't want to see that. Our American ancestors shed their blood and tears to build this magnificent land, and we are not going to let Kamala Harris and her party of absolute lunatics like Nancy Pelosi. How about Nancy? Did you see this? Crazy Nancy. She's crazy as a bedbug. Listen, crazy Nancy, okay? Visa announces that they're under major investigation. Major, by the Department of Justice. Major. Visa. She owns a lot of Visa stock. And they said Nancy Pelosi, she sold it the day before it was announced. One day. Her and her husband. They sold their stock the day before this was announced. Can you imagine if that were a Republican? I don't think so. Oh, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. No, it's terrible. That they're allowed to do that is terrible. But you're the people of America. You're the soul of America, and you will be trampled over no longer. We're not going to let this happen. We got to stop it. We got to stop it now. You know, I used to say they're trying to destroy our country, and I always hated the sound of that. Truth is, they have destroyed our country. What they've done, they've destroyed. But we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back fast. In this election, we need record turnout from our small towns. We need the heartland of America to stand up and to rescue this nation. We have so many great little towns and cities. You add them all up, and they're big. They're big. That's what I've always had, but they're trying to destroy them. And they're petrified. I told you, they're petrified of what's happening. Even if they haven't gotten the migrants yet, they're all coming. We need the entire Midwest to get out and vote, and early mail-in voting for everywhere. The Midwest has been so powerful for us. This area has been so powerful for us. You've been powerful for us, but Wisconsin. I mean, honestly, any place where there's honest voting has been powerful for us. When you look at California, which, by the way, she destroyed San Francisco. She was the DA. Then she became the Attorney General of California. She destroyed California, along with Gavin Newsom. You know that, Gavin? So I want to ask you to go and vote, and really go vote to save America. I believe this is the most important election in the history of our country. With your support, we will get the border shut. We will send the illegals back. We will repel the invasion immediately. It won't take long. We'll defend our territory, reclaim our sovereignty. We've lost our sovereignty. And restore the allegiance of our government to the people of this country. Together we will make America powerful again, make America wealthy again, make America healthy again, make America strong again, make America proud again, make America safe again, and we will make America great again. We are going to make it greater than ever before. So, Wisconsin, get out and vote. God bless you all. I'll be back. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Get out and vote. Save our country. Save our country.
Ooh. Okay. You heard him. Trump went on for almost 90 minutes. With the backdrop of all the newcomers that have been committing so much crime, with giant signs about mass deportation. He also gave a very, what some will construe as being a very dark speech. I'm sure the media and all their acolytes will say, Trump was so dark. Oh my God, he was so dark. He was no darker than the data that we heard yesterday. The data that we heard yesterday mandates that this man get out there and let people know what's going on. It wasn't dark. It was factual. It was real. It's telling everybody, you see what's happening? Do you finally see and understand what is happening? 500,000 or more convicts. Oh, he's doing the dance that I just did. Yeah. 13,000 murderers, 16,000 SAs who do bad stuff to women. We can't have it. Can't have it. And Trump was basically leading the way today and letting everybody know that this can't happen. So just be prepared for what will happen in the news. You know, today and tomorrow are both football days. You got football the rest of the day today. You got the NFL tomorrow. And come Monday, oh my God, they are going to swarm on him. They have to, because they can't allow this data just to sit there. It's terrifying to Americans if this data gets out. And he spent basically, I don't know, maybe 90% of his talk today telling you right now, front and center, the number one thing is the border, and that they failed, but they didn't actually fail. This was intentional. There is not this much incompetence. Nobody can be this incompetent. You can't make this many mistakes. This has been completely intentional. And how do you know that? Because in her speech yesterday, she's actually said, now we got to find a way to make these people citizens. We got to find a pathway to citizenship. Oh, okay, now we know what your whole plan was. Your entire plan was to basically get out here and get all these people in the country and then say, now we got to make them citizens. The part that's going to tick some people off, and possibly the people here, I don't know, maybe I won't be here tomorrow, but this man made no doubts, no equivocation whatsoever. He basically gave a call to arms. Maybe not actual pew-pews, maybe not actually talking to tell people to do that, but they will consider that basically an incitement. But what he was doing was inciting you to take up a different kind of arms. Take up your cell phones, take up your computers, do whatever you need to do. And that was actually the words he used. You got to do what you got to do. I put it in the chat. That was a quote. I'm actually going to probably have to go back and find that. You got to do what you got to do. So let's talk about what you got to do that you got to do. As dark as that was, the darkest days are still ahead of us. Because these people are going to go absolutely nuts when she gets beat. Count on it. some of the people here in the chat, love you guys, by the way, and you were talking about, survivalism and different things. Let me just tell you a true story about surviving. As I told you guys many a times, my wife's family is from the Smoky Mountains area. They're from Asheville and little towns all around Asheville. I don't know if you've seen anything in the media, if you've seen it on Twitter. Boone, another. Ashley goes vacationing up in Boone. Kids love it. It's gone. There is so much of that town and that entire area. It's gone. These aren't people who are used to seeing hurricanes come through. It's up in the Smoky Mountains. 6,000, 7,000 feet in elevation. It's way up in the mountains. When you drive up there, you're like, whew, there's no air. This isn't ground level South Florida where we're used to seeing hurricanes and going, oh, we need to pack up and make sure we got everything put together. These are people living a comfortable life up in the mountains. And Robin peeked her head in while Trump was talking. And she's like, my family's got no food. I went, what do you mean? She said, some of them have stocked up some stuff, but your normal life just ceased. It just ended. There's no electricity, which means all the stuff in your freezers and refrigerators, if you don't have a Jenny, are going to go bad very soon. You can't even get to the stores. The roads are gone. They're impassable. The bridges are down. It's water up to the roof in some areas. And we're not talking destitute people. We're talking people who, live their lives. And in an instant, an actual instant, they don't know what to do. What do we do? And I'm like, Robin, should we send them something? She's like, no, they can't get anything. They have the wherewithal. If they could get something, they would get it. They're not looking for Samaritan's purse. They're not broke. They just can't get anything. There is no electricity. There are no stores open. The roads are impassable. How long are they going to be impassable? Don't know. And so whatever you had in your house before the storm hit is all you got. Maybe your neighbor can help you out. Just like that. Done. I'm beside myself because she came in almost tears, and I'm like, you have a feeling of helplessness because there really is nothing you can do. There's no money. There's nothing you can send. There's no deliveries. There's nothing you can do, but most of them don't even have cell service. So they're getting the word out to a different relative who may be in a different part who can say, hey, we're okay. The house is fine, but we don't know what we're going to do in another couple days. Put yourself in that situation. Put yourself when something just happens. That seaport thing that we're talking about, it may not happen. You'll be fine. There was a lady in here yesterday who's like, oh, I can't think of this drama right now. Well, I can tell you right now, forget Aurora, forget Springfield. I've been telling you all these things. I can tell you specifically, first-hand knowledge, familial, people that we love and don't want to see anything happen to them, woke up this morning and went, oh crap, what do we do? We have a couple days worth of supplies that like most of us would have, but we didn't do anything prepping for what was going to happen. It just happened. Nobody had said, hey, listen, the storm's going to come up through Florida, probably go through the Carolinas, hit Georgia, and then it's going to go up in the Smoky Mountains and cause havoc, and rain's going to come down on the mountains, and then all these lakes and rivers just go, whoosh. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. People have lived up there 30, 40, 50 years. They haven't seen this. So you, wherever you are right now, what are you doing? Because there's a storm coming. Let me just show you something. I want to bring this up and not looking to scare anybody, but those of us down here in South Florida, we're kind of used to this stuff. We see it coming all the time. And so if we see a hurricane coming, we can do something about it. Possible U.S. seaport strike could back up goods for months. Months, shipping experts say. A potential strike at U.S. seaports on the East Coast and Gulf of Mexico could back up cargo there for weeks or even months. Retailers like Walmart and other importers have been rushing goods in ahead of the September 30th expiration, covering some 45,000 dock workers at 3 dozen seaports from Texas to Maine. Their goal? To land cargo in the U.S. before October 1st, when the ILA, International Longshoremen's Association, representing those workers, have vowed to strike if a new contract is not in place. You got 3 days. You got 3 days, and then maybe a couple days after that to get yourself in order. If the storm doesn't hit, what are you out? You're out some time, but you're not out money because you're going to use this stuff anyway. I can tell you, even down here where we have ports right in the Port of Miami, there's a number of ports here in South Florida, one in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to go to the grocery store tomorrow and stock up in addition to the prep stuff Robin has in the garage. We are going to stock up. No, it doesn't say anything about electricity going. It's just saying, hey, listen, if this happens, you could see a disruption in your ability to feed your family for months. Now you have to wonder, with all these newcomers being let into the country, flown into the country, in all these little small cities around the country, now that you know there's 13,000 murderers and 16,000 guys that do bad stuff to women, what do you think they're going to do if they don't have any food? Trump just said, you got to do what you got to do. I'm just giving you the information. What do you think these people in your town, near you, are going to do if they can't get food? Well, we've heard some of the stuff they do with the livestock in the area. Meow. Yeah, it's real. And that's with food available. And they're still eating meow meow. What do you think they're going to do when there's no food? When there's no livestock. And the stores are closed. And they can't do anything. What do you think's going to happen? Get ready. I'm telling you right now, get ready. In addition to everything else we're facing, I saw one article, I couldn't confirm it, but I saw one article that said at this point, they're not even negotiating. They're like, screw it, go on strike a month before the election. October 1st. I just want you to put that in your mind. October 1st, the seaports all closed down. Got election on November 5th. You may not get any food for 3 or 4 days. Maybe we need to declare martial law. I don't know. I'm just saying we are in uncharted territory at this point. If I had said to you 2 days ago that your government, I want you to be completely honest. If I had said to you on Wednesday, your government has flown in and brought in 13,000 murderers and sent them anywhere they want to go across the country, would you have believed me? No, I wouldn't have believed myself. I would have said, there's no way. There's no way that they would have brought in 600,000 criminals. No, it's not even possible. It's beyond the realm of me even thinking that I would have thought for an instant that our government, the United States government, whose first and foremost job is to protect Americans, brought in 13,000 murderers. So now that you know breaking news from just 2 days ago, actually 1 day ago, yesterday we found that out. And now you're finding out this stuff. And now you're seeing what happened in the aftermath of a hurricane. And we got 40 days left before an election? And if you ain't screaming it from the mountaintops at this point, it's on you. It's totally on you. Now be prepared. Come Monday, they're going to say everything Trump said today. You just saw Joy Reid at the beginning of this video. Everything Trump said, oh my God, he's the Chicken Little, the sky's falling in, he's lying, he's inciting violence. You heard what just happened. Everything that you have thought about your government before September 27th, you now have to look at differently. You now have to think to yourself, they really don't give a crap about me, do they? Nope. By the way, did you hear, I don't know, Biden, Kamala, anybody talk about the people in the path of that hurricane up in North Carolina? I heard DeSantis talking about what's going on in Florida. I heard Trump talking about the hurricane. Anybody else in the government? FEMA? What's going on? What are you doing, FEMA? How are you not, airdropping stuff into these people? Most of them are white. Most of them, doing okay. They're just those white. You know what? They're Trump people, most likely. Even though Asheville is a bastion of liberalism. But for the most part, the surrounding areas are all Trump people. The people who aren't going to college in Asheville or working in the city are mostly Trump people. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you right now that I truly, truly feel that we are in the midst of a civil war that people can't see. And the reason I feel that way is because I cannot even fathom that our government would have the audacity, the cojones, to bring in 600,000 unvetted criminals. And don't put them in jail. You're free to move about the country. I mean, I imagine if they said, listen, we need to bring these people in. Wherever they're from, it's not doing well, but we'll put them in prisons until we can vet them. Nope. And so Trump's telling people, these are people that chop you up and do whatever they want. It's what they've done in their other country, and they're really bad people. And what? He's lying? Or is he telling the truth that you don't want people to know? I'm going to go with the latter. He's telling you what exactly is going on. He's been telling you what exactly is going on. And these people in the news get out there and do the shuck and jive and try to pretend to you like everything's fine. Don't listen to anything. Laken Riley is a figment of your imagination. The 12-year-old little girl, it's a figment of your imagination. It doesn't really happen. They're not eating meow meow. No, it's all fake. Until you find out it's not. Like we found out yesterday. You just found out. None of you knew. I didn't know. None of us knew that they unleashed 13,000 murderers into the country and let them go wherever they want to go. Somebody walking around in your town right now, right down the road, could be one of these people. God help us. So when he said you got to do what you got to do, I take that in a number of different ways. Make sure you got food. Make sure you're protected. Make sure you've got some form of communication. Make sure you're talking to your neighbors so you guys all can work together together to make sure everything's okay. If you see something, you know what they always say, see something, say something. Oh, we're going to say something, all right. I'll tell you right now, hey, who's that, man? Who in the hell is this dude walking down the street with a machete? I'm going to say something. What are you doing? Oh, you can't act that way. Oh, really? Oh, really? You just told me that you let 500,000 people who are convicted criminals loose in America, and you're telling me I can't do anything? You want me to wait and see? Oh, he's walking with that machete. He doesn't really mean anything. It meant no harm. Okay. Well, he can walk over there. Just not here. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're green, blue, or if you got horns on. If you don't belong somewhere, now it's time to start telling people, hey, listen. Hey, yeah, Fred, yeah, there's a guy walking down the street with a machete. You might want to take a look. He passed my house. He's on the way down to your house. You got to communicate. You got to do what you got to do. No one's coming to help you. A response time from a police officer is just that, a response time. That response time is usually after something has happened. You can ask anybody in here who's a police officer or been involved in police. They're coming because they're coming to something that's already happened. I need help. How long before you get here? Okay. Now it's on you to make sure that that call is, hey, something was about to happen. I took care of it. You might want to get over here. Here's what happened. I got pictures. I got video. It's going to get crazy. Even Trump said it. It's going to get crazy. Think I'm nuts? You go ahead and wait. I got a woman in there and a little dog right there that says otherwise to me. Everywhere I go, head on a swivel. And I'm telling everybody until November 5th, you understand what's going on here? Hey, here's 13,000. I told you I'm going to put up a sticker like the jabber information they used to put on CNN where it had a little thing in a corner telling you how many things have happened. I'm going to put that on every video moving forward. It's going to sit right there in the top right to make sure anyone who stumbles upon any one of my videos sees that number. 13,000, 15,000, and 600,000. I can already see the chart. How many people are you going to tell that there's 13,000 murderers, 15,000 guys who did stuff to women, and 600,000 convicts that they let loose? How many people are you ready to tell and keep telling every single flipping day until everybody's heard it? Because that's what it's going to take at this point. You are going to have to be the coconut telegraph, Jimmy Buffett thing. Tell everybody. Keep telling them, hey man, have you seen this? Hey, dude, have you seen this? This is what Kamala did because their news isn't going to talk about it. This is the byproduct of I'm mad as hell and I ain't going to take it anymore. You just can't say I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore and not do anything. Now you're challenged. Don't get yourself in trouble with the guys upstairs and all this kind of stuff, but you're stating fact right now. Our government has released this information. They have given this information to you to dispense anywhere, however you can. Don't say anything negative that's going to get you banned. Just say, hey, did you know? And hold up the chart. Like Trump talks about his chart, here's your chart. What? Is this true? Yep. See the little ICE designation on the bottom? It's a government document. It's going to get crazy. That's pretty much all I have to say, because if he says fight, 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 that's what we better be doing. Jill says this is as serious as we've never seen. Yeah, it is getting to be like Red Dawn time. I really don't. Yeah, I know you just sit on your hands, but you use your intellect to get through it. You got to do something at this point to eat for each of us. It's going to get crazy. Everyone that is a part, and it seems so weird. We're sitting here watching a video. You're watching and I'm talking. And I'm just thinking to myself, we just want to live. We just want to live our lives. We want to get off of here and go to dinner. We want to get off of here and go watch football. We want to get off of here and go shopping at the mall. We expect, because we don't want to have to deal with this stuff. And now we've got these people running our government who could care less about you. You don't do this to people you love. You just simply don't do this to people who have given you the opportunity to govern them. You have basically raked us over the coals for as much money as you possibly can to send over there. You did it. You did it. You have manipulated things where we're paying so much for gas and so much for groceries, and we're paying so much for rent. The least you could have done is protect us. I mean, everything else, the Americans have bent over and taken it. Yes, yeah, it's costing a lot, Fred, but what are we going to do? Oh, yeah, I'm paying rent right now. It's horrible, but what are you going to do? oh, yes, I understand the gas prices. Hey, but here's some more. What are you going to do about it? I'm tired of hearing it. What are we going to do about it? All I ask for my government is to get out of my way and keep us safe. And you couldn't do the most minimalistic thing that you're charged with doing. You are supposed to keep Americans safe. And you took everyone's money, you bent them over backwards and said, take it, and fair share and all this other crap. And we just can't bend anymore. I'm not a gymnast. I can't bend over any further. You've done it all. And now you're telling me you can't even account for my safety. You can't account for the safety of my family. What more do you want? Now you want me, as you heard John Kerry, now you want me to shut up and take it. See, that's the last part of the situation. Excuse my language. My eyes. That's the last part of it. Not only do they want to do all this to you, now they want to put you in a situation where you have to shut up and take it. Bend over. Now they want to gag you and do it all to you without you being able to tell anybody. I hope every single one of you, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie American Me. Maybe you should watch American Me. It's a good movie. And there's a scene in that movie where they take some guy who's in jail, who's, a rival gang, and they, bend him over and do some bad things to him and stick something in his mouth so he can't scream. That's what your government is doing to you right now. We can't talk, yet everything else they want to do and violate you. And you got to take it. I think they've gone a bridge too far. I could be wrong. Americans may say, you know what? That's no big deal. I understand. Take my money, take my safety, and shut me up. And I'm still going to vote for Democrats. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Is that what you want out of your life? I'm serious. Is that the life you want to live? Where you're told where you can go, what you can do when you get there, how much you can spend, because if they go to CDBC, Central Digital Bank Currency, come on, is that the life you expected as an American? And then on top of all that, hey, here's 600,000 newcomers that we have no idea where they are, but we do know a bunch of them are murderers and, bad guys. I would have believed you, Barry. I've been paying attention. I would not have believed anything out of Harris and Biden's mouths. It's crazy. I've seen the enemy, and yes, they are we, said, yeah. I'm so glad I found. Thanks, Kevin. It's funny. So what country would y'all move to if you didn't? It's crazy right now. It's not even the courtesy of a reach around. This is exactly what they're trying to do with Trump with the gag order. Exactly. He was the model. We're going to take your money, take your business, throw your friends in jail, do everything we possibly can to you, and you can't even talk about it. Shut up. They're taking the essence of what America is supposed to be. They're taking it away from you, and there are too many people who are docile and just accepting it. And they're labeling other people tinfoil hat conspiratorialist, conspiracy theorist, when there's no conspiracy here. See, this is the part now where we all should be happy. We no longer are living under any conspiratorial denigration. We're seeing it. You don't have to say, you don't have to be like Laura Loomer. You don't have to be in the same category as Alex Jones at this point, because they were on the fringe telling you, it's coming. Oh, you won't believe it. It's coming. Oh my God, you don't even realize what's coming for you. That's who they already plowed that path. Now you're actually living it. There's nothing conspiratorial because they are telling you. You don't have to worry about people going, oh, you're one of those people, huh? You're one of those Q-tards. No, not anymore. Not anymore. Yesterday proved to me everything those other people were saying a year ago. Do you remember what they were saying? Did any of you ever get involved in that 17th letter of the alphabet stuff when people were talking about 300,000, 400,000 kids way before Diddy? way before that guy on that island over there. You know, I've told you, it's all there now. It is no longer anything to do with a conspiracy. And I remember in my early videos, I used to tell you, a conspiracy is just something you don't know about yet. A conspiracy is something that hasn't been disclosed. How many people have you seen on X or on Twitter, whatever you want to call it, are now saying, oh yeah, I knew about them Diddy parties. Really? Really? You knew about them Diddy parties? You didn't say nothing? And talking about it meant you were a conspiracy theorist? But now, the veil's off of that. Wow, check that one off. That actually happened. And now, you know, who knows what the videos are going to say? You're never going to see them. Oh, no, you're never going to see what the evidence is because our FBI doesn't give... No, hey, we can't give that out. The reason we had to go after him is because he may have threatened somebody that, I'm going to do this if you don't do that. Oh, no. But it's been going on for like a decade. Oh, we didn't know about it. Winkety wink wink. Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever that guy's name was. Hey, go ahead and raise $1 billion for us with this, crypto scam. And then when it all hits the fan, you're the one that gets to go to jail. But what all the money I gave to these politicians who took all this bazillions of dollars? Well, how is that not, election interference? And sorry, you trusted us. We're the government. But that would have been a conspiracy theory. Like, hey, man, this guy Sam Bankman-Fried raised $1 billion, started giving money to all these Democrats and other politicians. $1 billion. Making it rain. Just making those dollars. And they put him in jail. What about all the people who got the money from him? Nope. Campaign finance. Don't talk about that. You don't need to know about that. Sam Bankman-Fried, I understand, is like close in the cell block to Diddy. They must have some great conversations. Yo, man, who did you? Well, no, I gave this guy like $5 billion and I'm the one sitting here trying to keep my rear end safe. Good luck with that. But we're the conspiracy theorists. Right? Right? Yeah. I hope that yesterday, I'm not going to belabor this. I think I've given you enough to understand at this point. I hope that yesterday finally revealed everything with you. That you realize right now you are being lied to on an epic scale. That nobody wants you to know what's really going on. And only you can control things here on out. As Trump said, you got to do what you got to do. When he said those words today, and I put it in a chat, and I was like, oh shit. Did he just say that? Did he just signal and do a comm to everybody and go, you got to do what you got to do because it's coming. It's coming. The worst part about this, as I get ready to close here, the worst part of all of this is with everything you've heard in the last 24 hours. As much as you feel vilified and violated and can't believe your government has done this, they haven't stopped. They're still bringing these people in. So what, We're the government. You ain't stopping us. You think they slowed down? Talk to some of these border guys. Nope. Oh well, now. Too effing bad. We're not stopping because our plan is to do this. That to me is the worst part. Usually you get caught doing something you're not supposed to do. It's like, oh, I won't do that no more. There's a penalty to pay when you're caught doing something wrong. With most people, they ain't paying no penalty. Keep them coming, boys. Keep them coming. We got a seaport strike. We got an election. Yeah, we got a couple lawsuits we got to file against Alabama because they won't let the newcomers vote. So you go ahead and file those lawsuits, but keep them coming. You think they're going to stop? If you think that just because it got exposed that the game is over, it's probably going to accelerate. It's probably going to get worse. You got to do what you got to do. Trump can only say so much. I can only say so much. Other people can only say so much. At some point, you got to be like Harry, who he talks to. And Harry, get your ass off the couch. Harry, get your ass off the couch and go to a show and find some poo-poo and some survivalist stuff because it's about to get kind of freaky. It's a big dance is coming, and I don't want to be rounding around the chairs when the music stops and I'm like, oh, hey, there's no chair here. So get ready. As Diana says, if they're amping up, if they are, shouldn't you? Shouldn't you? That's what I'm going to say. The crises are piling up. Exactly. There's only so much people are going to be able to take. We are fast, quickly approaching a breaking point. Yesterday was a big reveal. It shocked a lot of people. But as you know, there are a lot of people who got up this morning and went to a football game. No big deal. No big deal. We got to play some football. Let me drink some beers. Everything's fine. Okay. I don't mind you going to football. I like football. I got my Dolphins shirt on today. I'm trying to show my affinity to that team. I was going to wear my Notre Dame shirt, but I couldn't figure out who was the worst of the two, so I figured the Dolphins needed more help than Notre Dame. But God forbid, man, you guys aren't taking this stuff seriously. I mean, I got to click the button and get off of here and go talk to the wife. And I'm like, what do we do about the fam? And then, Ashley had called me yesterday and she had tornado warnings up in where she lives. And I'm like, you guys okay there? And I'm like, hey, what's the weather like in South Florida? It's fine. It's perfect. Couldn't be better. All the moisture got sucked out by the hurricanes. Perfect weather. I feel bad. But even if it had come here and anything that would have happened, I wouldn't be able to stream, but we would have been fine. Why? Because we have a garage full of stuff. Either way, and it's still there now. So we didn't waste money. It's still sitting. Now we're going to go because of this seaport thing, and we're going to get some more stuff and fill up even more because I likes my groceries. I don't want to wake up one morning where she's like, there's nothing to eat. What do you mean there's nothing to eat? Get your fishing pole. Let's go. We got the propane? Yeah, we got propane. Fill it up. Get another one just for backup. Let's go fishing. Let's catch something. I talk a big game because she's going to have to catch it. I get seasick. So I wait on the dock for her. Because I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't go out there be rocking in a boat all day long. I got that seasickness affliction. Anyway, as Trump did, I mean, this is very dark stuff. Very, very, very dark stuff. Let's go ahead and give away a hoodie, shall we? End this thing in a good note so we can basically not have to talk about doom and gloom the entire time that we're here. Let's see where we are. I gotta pick the window so you guys can see it. All right, here we go. We're about to pick another winner. Actually, you know what? You guys have been so generous today. I'm going to go through the super chats in a second, but we're going to give two today, not just one. We're going to do two. All right, so let's randomly pick one winner. Boom. Pick another. Andrea Epperson, or Andrea Epperson. Andrea Epperson, you win a hoodie. So Andrea Epperson. Let me write her name down. Andrea Epperson. I don't know if she's still here or that was from an older thing. But Andrea, let's go with another one. Pick another winner. Live draw. And here we go. Another one. Boom to boom. Oops, one more of your winners could not be chosen because there are not enough prize. Oh, wait a second. So here's what I have to do. I have to go back in and I have to allocate another prize. Hold on one second. Just and we'll get this back up and running. And we'll do it like this. And we'll do live draw. And we're back where we're supposed to be. Let's pick another winner. And pick another winner. And that would be Joanne. I'm going to try and say this. Joanne Gajewski. Joanne Gajewski. Gaieski. All right, Joanne Gajewski and Andrea Epperson have won hoodies today. Thank you very much for playing. It's that simple. It's that simple. And you guys, I'm going to have to order some more, so I've got some more here. All right, so let me go quickly to these wonderful people who are making this stuff possible. Let's go here and read these off. All right. So, where's this? Oh, 1 second here. Hold on. I'm just getting this thing ready so I can talk to you guys. All right. All right, so you guys can see it now. It's right there. Want to hit this one, Allison Craig, who gave 200, and that is going to get us a bunch of hoodies, about 4 or 5 hoodies. And I thank you extremely from the bottom of my heart. And Allison, thank you very much. How generous. That's phenomenal. And then we've got Lisa Abigail Adams. President Teddy Roosevelt once said, "Ours is a government of liberty by, through, and under the law. No man is above it, no man is below it." Trump believes in our law. Absolutely. All right, let me go back up to the top here. Looks like I'm going to be reading some names. All right. Can everybody see? Yep, everybody can see. All right. NJ Sound. Thank you, Search Captain USA Music, for the anthem. Okay. Moshe says Kamala equals Dukakis on steroids. That's true. Mikorod. Unmarked buses dropped off some people in Charleroi, Pennsylvania. Dennis Doherty. Dennis, thank you. That's going to go a long way, too. Thank you very much. Thank you for both of those, Dennis. Thank you very much. Bob Trump. No relation. I don't mind paying $5. I love the channel and never miss a show. Thank you very much. Chris, thank you. Johnny Cole, I will definitely take a membership and even pitch in a few bucks for someone else who can't afford it. Also, a yearly option discount would be nice. Thank you very much. Ashley, write that down. Bob Trump again. Here's 10 more. Just promise to keep bringing the truth to people. I promise. I promise. No Name, thank you for the dance. Yes. I told you it was coming. I just had to get out there with Robin. Brad Crane, thank you. Johnny Cole, tips for the dance. Just a Girl, thank you. William Flanagan from Canada. What happened to the live feed of the Trump campaign bus? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they blipped it. Didn't see it. Gene Lee, Barry, I want a clip of your intro of Trump. Where can I find it? I just never released that. I didn't know. I didn't put it out as a separate video, but I will. EMAC, thank you. I live in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. You can't walk down any road without seeing Harris signs. It's nauseating. EMAC Tactical, go ahead and email me, because some people are asking how to, depending on where they are, how to get a poo-poo, pew-pew. And I'd like to tell them, basically what they should do. The Anthill says, anxious to join the paid channel. Please use this gift membership for someone. Thank you. I will do so. Joe E. Hey, Mr. Barry, the chat is going pretty fast here. So your broadcast is great as usual. Thank you very much. No Name, I've been here since the beginning. I have no job now. Love you, Barry. Wish I had more. Don't ever apologize for that. Just coming here helps me. Faith, who won a hoodie yesterday. Girl, you're crazy. Extremely generous. Barry, give this as a prize for one of our friends who are short funds for the new membership. We need our friends. Absolutely, will do so. Very shoot. I mean, that was very nice of you. Very nice of you, Faith. They are saying it's close because they are going to cheat and say, well, it was close. Exactly. I believe you. John Zeller, thank you Frankie in Hawaii, Charleroi, Pennsylvania, recently got 2,000 Haitians. Get ready. Lori Ettinger, thank you very much. Barbara Farley, up with Trump fans, down with Kamala and Walz. Don't forget, Tuesday, I'll cover the vice presidential debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. Brigitte, hi Dad, happy early birthday. Maria, thank you. Queen 22, thank you. No name again. I get upset with this. This is not black or Hispanic. They're talking all the jobs for everyone. I understand what you mean. That when he says they're taking the black jobs, and when they obviously are taking jobs from everybody, he's trying to emphasize that with the black community who continues to just be zombies in voting for anything black, anything Democratic. That's what you have to vote for. That's what he's trying to let these people know. It's like, you're voting against your own best interest. They don't care about you. They just count on your vote at this point. And that's what he was trying to say. Americans are not a skin color. We're Americans. I understand what you're saying. Sheila, thank you. EMAC again. For the record, there is an MK47 that's made by CMMG, but the media is going to rip him apart for that one because he said MK47 instead of AK-47. Marcus Anderson, I refuse to be part of the living generation that lets America fail. Good for you. Renee Patterson, Godspeed to our country. Trump is our only hope. May God watch over him and bless him, and God bless this once great country and restore it, and God bless all you fellow patriots. Thank you very much. Ronnie Joanne, I'm 70. I never missed voting since I was 18. I've never been so afraid in my own country. President Trump will make me feel safe again. I sure hope that. Bill Van Blarkum, God bless you and your family. Now on the lighter side, help me with my wife and stepdaughter. They hate Trump. Well, you know what? Here's what, if you have a female who hates Trump, one of the things you can say to them, do you hate Trump enough to have 13,000 murderers and 15,000 guys who do bad things to women and more? 600,000 criminals. Do you hate Trump enough that you're willing to pay a certain amount of gas prices? Do you hate Trump enough that, you should have to pay more for food? Do you hate Trump enough where it's okay that kids, 325,000 of them, are missing? Do you hate Trump enough that you're going to ignore all that and then see what they say? Pretty simple. No name, fight, yes. Richard Bolin, thank you. No name again. Ashley is already married. Bob Trump, I don't care what they say. I want the borders closed. Boys don't need tampons, and Tim should be in jail for what he did to those. I can't even say it. I'll say it in the private area, but I can't say it here. Big Cat, you're always doing good shows. Thank you very much. Diamond and Jeep. Barry, check out Candace Owen here on YouTube. She has uncovered a lot on Kamala's family tree. You'll be shocked. No, nothing shocks me anymore. And as much, let me just say this about Candace. As much as Candace has exposed, it's not enough. Because whether Kamala's grandparents were from Mars or Venus, and whether her mom was, a communist, or whether her dad was this or that, that's not moving the needle. Nobody cares. They're all looking the other way. What you have to drive home is, how does it affect you personally? Until yesterday, a lot of people didn't see how things affected them personally. But now with them airdropping people into cities and bringing in murderers and these other guys, now people are seeing it and going, "Oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking about something that affects me." Even though the groceries and gas and everything might have been not something they worried about, now your safety, especially as a woman, your safety now is something people care about. Bob Trump, Sammy Riley Braddock, give her a membership, Barry, on me. I will have to. Ashley, go ahead. Let me just write that down just in case. Sammy Braddock. Okay. Just want to write that down. Sammy Braddock. No name. Liberals hate Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl ready. I hope not. But I'm really worried about the Dolphins. Send Nancy and her dentures to jail. Teal Humphrey, thank you. Paul Chalauer, thank you. No name. Berries, please play your dance again. All right, I'll play it before we get out of here. Anthony Semino, thank you. T.L. Humphrey, thank you very much. Wendy Kirkpatrick, I'm stocking up. Barry, thanks for the heads up. Live by the Air Force Base in Tucson. Not sure if that's a good or bad thing. I don't know. It should be good. I don't think they're going to let people get too close to the Air Force Base. So, Mike McCarthy, yeah, watched the news about this morning about Boone and Asheville. Really sad. Really, really sad. William Flanagan from Canada. If worse comes to worse after the election, I will come down from Canada to fight for freedom. There you go. No name. Let's set up a prep meeting in Maryland. Prep meeting. You know, we should, what we'll do is on the membership site, we'll go ahead and put together a prep thing where Robin can come in and say what she's done and how she's done it, and other people. You wouldn't believe the amount of information I got in the last couple of days from people who have been prepping at home and saying, here, do this, do this. I even got so much information on EMP preparation, stuff I didn't even know. Thank you very much for that. I don't think she is as dumb as she pretends. Maybe she wants to make her Marxist father proud. No, I don't think she's dumb. She's stupid. She's not dumb. The difference is she's not able to do the things that she wants to do, but she's not dumb, meaning she's doing what they're telling her to do. They've already told her it doesn't matter. Just do what we tell you, and we'll see what happens. MAGA Mama, beware and prepare. May God be with us. Thank you, Barry, for an informative place to come. Much love to you and this wonderful fanfare family. Thank you very much. We got this, people. No name, Mountain House Meals. I'm not crazy. I look at the future. Gold and guns. Absolutely. Ken Romolino, I just ordered a 3-month food supply from my Patriot Supply on top of stocking up on essentials. Time is now, people. Yeah, somebody asked me, I said Patriot Supply. They're not a sponsor. It's just, I understand they've got good stuff. Not a sponsor yet. Ashley, you might want to hook up with them. Contact my Patriot Supply. Kind Bluey, great job, Barry. What's an A? Is that another country? Africa? Go Avengers, Captain Trump, and the Justice League are coming. No name again. Hey, thank you, bro. Where'd you go? I went to... Okay, Democrats have ruined my Maryland. Is all liberal. I'm just a real guy. If you're a man, you can't date here. Like I said, I lived in Baltimore. I used to go to Fells Point. Used to go to the Inner Harbor. It was beautiful. Loved it. Phillips Seafood House. Awesome. Used to eat there all the time. Kevin Bauman, thank you. Nancy Stone, thank you. Ray Smith, hello, Barry. Thank you for your live today. Thank you for tuning in. Corey Cobbler, thank you, Barry, for all that you do for us out here. I love you, brother. You're an awesome patriot. Thank you very much for tuning in. Just another knucklehead. Thank you. Mari Nigri, Barry, we need a CB channel to speak with you. My dad used to be big with CBs. I never got into it, but I guess if you're going to prep, you got to prep all the way, because if the internet goes down, love your dance, good groove, Barry, you're awesome. Thank you, Creative Margie. And one more here is Peter Gates. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who contributed. Thank you very much. I'd like to pour it back in. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we find that place where we can have that meal or that party together. Just be careful out there. I know it's getting crazy. It's getting real crazy, and it's going to get crazier. Absolutely crazier. So here's what we got. I can share with you guys tomorrow at 1:30. We're going to have a actual rally in Erie, Pennsylvania. Trump is going to be at, so we'll be on tomorrow at 1:30. And I'll probably do another video. I won't do it tonight because Robin and I are going out to dinner. But tomorrow I'll have another video come out after the rally as well. So let's go ahead and get that done. Everybody else, thank you very much. Thank you, Barry and Ashley. Ert Radio, I got your stuff on Twitter, but last night, usually what happens when I get off of here, it's time to go spend some time with the honey and the Mexican little dog right here. See, I got a Mexican. He came through the border the right way. You want to come up here? Come here. Come here. You want to say hi? Yeah, I want to say hi. I want to see the peoples. I want to see my peeps. Oh, there I go. There, say hi, Midas. We're getting ready to. Why won't you look in the camera? It's not a bad thing. Look, that's me. I'm Midas. That's my little buddy. Me and my little buddy here. Don't show him your teeth. Go show. There you go. He's a little ornery sucker. He's crazy. All right, so I'm going to show you guys a dance, and then we're going to get out of here. You're going to be a good boy? You're going to be a good boy? Yeah, daddy. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.